You gotta unmute it. On demand almost. We'd be like, hey, can you like touch the duck or make it go off? And it would just start lighting up and going crazy.
Why should we be afraid of you?
Hello and welcome to Whatgoesbump tonight. My name is Riley Clark, and alongside me, as always, is
Trevor Johnson
and our special guests tonight, the Ghost Bros. Caleb,
What's up?
What's going on?
Dudes. I do have to say though, I love your guys' hats. Like they're sick.
Yeah,
Not
definitely.
gonna lie.
Thank you.
Can you
We
still
have-
get those? They're still available?
We'll send you some.
Oh, sick! Yeah, hook it up.
I got a shipment going out this weekend, so just shoot us your address and I'll ship 2 out to you guys.
All right, we're
Hell
gonna
yeah.
end up shipping you guys back a gift box when we do our next gift box because
Thank you.
Hey, love
we
that.
definitely love the love, and I love to give stuff. And it's like, if you guys are gonna be that generous right off the get go, yeah, I definitely am gonna hook you up. Too.
We love you guys. You guys are awesome. We watch your
Hell
videos,
yeah.
and it's actually Caleb and I. So there's 4 Ghost Bros, and Caleb and I. It was like 3 weeks ago. We were just sitting on my back patio, smoking like cigars and drinking, and watched like 3 of your episodes back to back. We
yeah,
love it.
that's
You
so
guys are
awesome.
awesome. So
Thank you.
we're really happy that you guys wanted to talk to us.
Hell yeah.
God, it's so funny that it's like you guys feel like that. Where it's like, fuck, I was like honored that you guys wanted to come on our show.
No,
Right, yeah, I
no.
felt the same way there. I was like, oh my god, you guys are reaching out to be on our show. That's so cool.
And shout out to Trevor. He's one of the 4 members. He created this. He's the artistic one in the
Oh.
group. He made the logo.
I was gonna say,
shout
killer
out-
fucking
shout
logo.
out other Trevor. Your
Yeah,
Trevor.
Trevor number 2. Trevor number 2.
I love it. All right, boys. So where are you guys from?
Caleb?
Yeah, well, we kind of talked about this a little bit pre-show, but we are from Cincinnati, Ohio, born and raised, been here. Well, I don't want to share our age. We're old men. And we were born in the 90s. Let's put it that way.
Early 90s.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I was 95, baby. I was kind of there.
We're older
92.
than you.
So, what got the 4 of you into paranormal investigating together?
This is our bonds.
I'll answer that. So I think like a lot of us, we all grew up watching like the Ghost Adventures. You probably heard that 1,000
Oh, yeah.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
And
like, what do you
it's-
think we did?
Exactly. And it's just always fun to do things at night for whatever reason. So like he said, we live in Cincinnati, and I heard that Waverly Hills Sanitarium, only like an hour and a half away from us, did tours. So one night, me, Caleb, and 2 other buddies went and did a tour, and we didn't take it very seriously. We just thought it was kind of funny and something to do, but it was still fun.
Yep.
So we kind of like got that bug, and we found other local places that you could go to and do the same thing. So it was 4 of us, and we went to like Ohio State Reformatory.
Oh, hell
We
yeah.
did like a local castle that was built. That's kind of a hidden gem in Ohio,
Awesome.
Loveland Castle. And it honestly wasn't until the Loveland Castle, which was like our 4th stop, that we bought a spirit box and we heard our names come through the spirit box for the first time. We heard like crazy things that were relevant to the place, and that was the first night that we were like, hey, this might not be a joke. This is actually kind
I
of
love
serious.
those what the fuck moments. Like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
We had several that night. So kind of going off of what Armand said, he asked me to come along, and I only went to make fun of him because I was like, ghost stuff, this is ridiculous. And then 2.5 years later, I'm probably one of the most serious ones in our group about it. So
Where it's like,
yeah,
Dive in.
You can ask him. I think him and I probably got into our only fight at Indiana State Sanatorium because he was like, dude, you need to chill. You need to chill. Like this is for fun. We're doing this as a group, as friends. You need to chill. I was like, yeah, you're right. I need to chill.
Love that.
He was
I mean,
just passionate.
we definitely did that too. Like our first serious investigation, I definitely had the same mindset where I was like, we're going to be with a group of people that we don't know. I don't know what their mentalities are. And then I walked in there and I was like, well, I mean, it's cool. It's spooky. We're at a jail. It was the old Lincoln County jail, actually.
Oh,
And we
sweet.
were like, well, I guess we're going to like see what we catch. And then I wasn't taking it as seriously as he was at first. But then once like the shit started hitting the fan, I was like, what?
Like the one thing we always bring up with that story is like we're literally getting ready to do the historical tour of the
Mhm.
jail, right? And in my backpack, I was like asking him, I'm like, should I bring my ghost stuff? Like,
He's like, should we go
for
upstairs
the
with
tour? Like, should we like? And all of a sudden, both the walkie-talkies just went beep, beep,
Oh,
One
wow.
in his bag.
and we were like, what the fuck? And everyone with us was like, what's going on? We're
Everybody's, like,
our
looking
walkies
around,
just turned
too.
on out of nowhere.
Yep, it's weird. And then the rest of the night was just charged, and we had so much happen. Doors moved on their own, voices over our like recorders and
So
stuff.
if you haven't been to the Lincoln County Jail
Do
yet,
it.
put it on the
Yeah,
bucket
do
list
it.
because it's
Not only is it awesome, the people that run the place are absolutely awesome, and
it's-
they
they're
are.
different
awesome.
people than when we went.
But like the people that you talked to, they were like, "We'd love to
Yeah.
have you guys back." Like they've never even met
Yeah.
us because it's new ownership now. But it's like
They're
you guys
so
don't even
super-
know us.
They're super cool. They
But they're
messaged
all
me
about-
back like right away. Too,
Yeah, and they're
so.
all about preserving the history and renovating it to keep it as close to like historical accuracy as possible. And that's what it's all
awesome.
about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's on our list. I think we tried to do it this year, but either they were too busy or
Yeah.
something happened. But we
I
weren't
think
It's
able to get
also a
that.
little on the pricey side. Like I think as far as investigations go for like the size of it, it's a little pricier. Like I would probably say rule of thumb when I think of going on investigations is like locations usually run like 500 to 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Realistically, like 700 for Old Lincoln seemed a little high, but it's still
Oh
worth
no,
it.
it's $5.95.
Oh, see, then it's cheaper than I
I'm
thought it
pretty
was.
sure.
But still, it's like now that we're
I'd have to
talking like
double check.
logistics, ghost hunting is expensive.
Oh,
It
It
is.
dude.
really is.
It's
That
a full-on
is-
like entertainment market now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're doing
yeah.
we're doing one in September. Well, we did Brushy Mountain State
Oh, hell
Penitentiary
yeah.
Yeah, that place
2
is-
months ago. That was like
crazy.
$1,500, and then we're doing one in September that's almost $2,000. So yeah,
Yep.
they can be a lot. It's
Yeah, and I mean you
ridiculous.
split it up and it helps, but like at that point, I don't want to oversaturate the building with people
Yeah.
because that's what you always want to avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what was your guys' favorite investigation so far?
Tough question.
I know,
I
that's a heavy
we
one.
always come
I-
with the tough
It's
ones.
always like because then we start getting into the stories of these places, and it's always
Yeah,
so
yeah.
fun.
I feel like,
Go ahead, Armand.
we've only done one collaboration
Yep.
with another group, and it was with Spirit Stalkers, and we did Father John's Microbrewery and Old Williams County Jail,
Mhm.
and that was really fun just because we've never done it with another group before, so learning from
Right.
somebody firsthand. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
did 2 hunts in one day. It was like exhausting, but it was also fun. But oddly enough, I think my favorite location that we've done in 3 years was the one we just did 2 weeks ago, and it was Auglaize Village. I mean, it's this whole village.
Yeah,
there's
That's so
like
cool.
35
Yeah, the
buildings
Spirit
on the
Stalker.
property.
Don't they have a video coming out Sunday for that?
Yep.
We did it
Yep.
with them again.
Oh, okay, all right. That's gonna be sick. Yeah, you
It
are.
was-
Oh, gosh.
It was
I
No,
literally
no, you're
watched the
fine.
trailer too, and I was
no, you're fine.
putting it together.
But it's just you're used to walking into one place and having it to yourself. In this
Right.
village, you had 36 buildings, I think, to just
all
explore.
from different time periods, all from literally the same place in Defiance, Ohio. But literally, I mean, from the early 1800s to like, I don't know, World War II. A couple of buildings actually housed like German soldiers there
No shit.
as POWs. Yeah, it's like, and
So what was
there
the
were so many.
atmosphere? Like,
There were so many things that were like there on the property. We didn't actually get to all of it because there was so
Love
much
that.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had the same like in our investigation of the Double J Ranch here in Rothbury. We didn't get to do the whole ranch because it was like what 800 acres or something.
Yeah,
and
it's massive.
Jeez.
yeah, and we got to like a quarter of the buildings that they said we were allowed to go into, and it wasn't even some of
Wow.
like the craziest storied places because it was literally like you'd have to take a car to the other side of the.
We
fucking
literally had to
ranch
jump in an old school bus and get drove to the other end of the park.
from the water park.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
That's
That's
badass.
so cool. I
Yeah,
think my
what
favorite
was, like,
place.
that-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
what was
ahead.
like the atmosphere there though? Like, cause I can only imagine what a village like walking into like something like straight out of history where it's like, was it pretty preserved or was it overgrown and like just like sketch city or did it?
It was
feel like
beautiful.
just- really?
Really?
It was preserved really, really well. I mean, the grounds of it was kept in prime condition. And then each building, there was a post office, a church, a dentist office. It obviously was like really
station.
train station. They were obviously old, like early 1900s, but it was very clean. I mean, it was,
So where
it was not
this
gross.
in proximity to say like other towns? Is this like in the woods or is it like right on the outskirts of like another town or something?
Defiance, Ohio is pretty out there.
Really?
Yeah,
So
it's,
I was gonna say, like, I imagine just like woods all around, and then you have to drive down this long ass road for like a half an hour before you get to another.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
town or that. Really?
That's not wrong.
The Village, like that movie, kind of like that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, we
that.
actually we're joking. We're gonna, when it gets close to when we're gonna drop our videos, like we're actually gonna do like some clips from the Village to throw in there to promote it.
So would you guys go back?
Definitely.
I would.
Right, so we're going
would.
back, right?
Love
Like,
that.
you guys literally caught my interest with the Village.
Just
We
an
would
open
be
invitation.
We'd be honored. Yeah. It was one of the few places I told them, like, I feel like part of, I mean, you guys know this, part of the best part of going on a hunt is just that newness of walking down those hallways for the first time and exploring. But like he said, I mean, we didn't get through half of those places. So that's a perfect place to return to. So much more to see.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Right,
really cool. And on top of that, like you can get just some confirmation on maybe what you got the first time. So yeah,
Oh,
I would definitely go back.
And it's just like sometimes you wonder if you can reconnect to like the same spirit and like see if their story
validates all
changes
of
it.
at
Yes.
all. Like
Yeah.
like how, because like I think sometimes spirits do lie too, like to trick you.
Yeah. No doubt. They're
Especially like a murderer or something. He's not gonna tell you the truth. Like he's not gonna say
I killed
person,
those
like,
kids.
How many murderers? I want to know how many murderers have gone on trial and been like, "I did it." Like, no, it's not how
I
that
think
works.
only the true psychopaths will go up there and be like, I got it, I did it, and I'm going to get away with it in front of everybody.
Well, it's just like people that were here before they died. Like some people were kind, some people were playful. So their spirits are probably kind and playful. If they were mean and malicious, I have a belief that they're probably like that in the afterlife too, or whatever residual energy.
That's literally what we
say
always
your
say.
stick. Say your stick.
Because we learned this from our paranormal papas. They were like, if you're an asshole in life, like if you're an asshole in life, you're gonna be an asshole in death. Like what changes you because of dying? Nothing.
Makes sense to us.
I like that. I mean, nobody really knows because obviously nobody's come back and or died and come back and like, hey, you know what? I really changed because I died. So I think some of that's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. So that would definitely be a place to go back to. We've only gone back to a place twice.
Post Town Elementary, we've gone twice. And what was the other one? Oh, Waverly Hills.
Waverly.
And then I mentioned that Castle was the first place that really made us as a group believe. We're going back this Saturday on the 1 year anniversary.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we're excited to see what happens there.
Oh my god.
I'm seeing Fall Out Boy.
That's still super exciting.
That's still awesome.
I'll take the spirit box.
just don't get caught up in the Black Parade.
Yeah. I think for me, my favorite place that we've ever investigated, and this is the one that completely sold me, was Prospect Place.
Really?
Have you guys ever? Oh my gosh, that place is.
Northern Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah,
you guys just have so many haunted places out there in Ohio.
It's a creepy.
Ohio is haunted. Yeah, definitely. But that was the first time ever that we got a disembodied voice, and it sang to us.
Wow.
It literally
immediate hairs, everything too.
Oh, everything. I mean, like I'm talking about now, and I got goosebumps.
Dude, I love that feeling.
It is absolutely insane.
We try not to be, and there's nothing wrong with that, to each their own. We certainly don't want to, be rude to anybody, but we try to be, and maybe because we're just older and lame, we try to be like quieter and cool. We're not like loud and like excitable in our hunts, and we certainly don't want to like exaggerate. We've left plenty of hunts with nothing, and I think that just validates the hunts that we do get stuff, but none of us really claim to like get touched a lot or hear things and this and that. But for whatever reason, I mean, that Prospect Place, we were all sitting around a table asking questions, no devices on, and all 5 of us that were around the table heard a woman singing, and it's caught on film. I mean, we're
That's
in this
so
place
cool.
in the middle of the nowhere, and you can hear her humming. And then we ask her to do it again, and you hear a whistle. And we just packed up and left after that. It scared the shit out
You
of
were
us.
done.
I mean, like that's how I felt like the first time that we caught a disembodied voice. We didn't even know we did until we were home and reviewing it. And then
Yeah,
like,
I remember this. I was
It was
sitting on the couch. We
crazy.
all had a voice recorder. We're all sitting there
Yeah, we're-
listening. And I literally go, "What the fuck was that?"
he
I
damn
was-
near threw it and jumped, and I was like I agree where it's like I don't want to be too excitable during like hunts because it's like, well, now I look like I'm trying to be that
Exactly.
crazy.
Exactly.
Sometimes it is really hard.
But yeah, like
though.
if I get spooked,
Sure.
like fuck, like my fight or flight kicks in real quick, and it's like I kind of colorful, so it's like
Yeah.
I might like say something really off the wall or like jump real fucking quick.
Yeah, because like I think I'm a tad bit like empathic. So like sometimes I get feelings I know no one else is feeling that I'm just like
Sure.
having. And it's really weird. Like I get these like weird it's weird to say out loud because I feel like no one will ever believe me.
Dude, it's
but
hard
I get
to
like
explain though.
I get images.
I
like
don't
in
believe
my
you right
own
now
mind
before
of,
you
like,
finished
what's
it.
in
I
front
don't
of
even
me.
believe you.
It's weird. I don't know how to explain.
No,
Well,
I
it's
definitely
funny
believe it.
too. We had the same dream and we didn't know about it until like 2 weeks after the investigation. And we both saw the same type of creature in our dream.
Oh wow.
And then we just so happened to like, man, I had a weird ass dream the other day. Wait, the fuck did you just tell me? And then it was like, it matched up perfectly. So it's like, I put a lot of like merit and it's like our brains work in really weird ways and nobody knows what a soul is or what kind of energy like is transferring to like make it all work.
Yeah, and on top of
Yeah.
that, like our eyes are only seeing so much of the light spectrum. Like
Mm.
just a like small percentage.
Well, look
of-
at Vanta Black. Like it's the absence of everything, and it is literally
Mhm.
color palette.
Mhm.
What's
Is
to
that
say that we
crazy?
aren't seeing that shit?
100%. I totally
Well,
agree
half
with that.
half the devices that we use, you know, are being interacted with things that we can't see. So it's like
exactly.
I think that's one of the coolest parts about, you know, the whole ghost
yeah.
investigating and stuff is just like I said. I think I was just telling Ron this yesterday or this morning maybe. We talk all the time. We're like
yeah.
brothers, but it's I think the thing that keeps us going back and makes every investigation so fresh and so new is when we leave a camera or something and we just leave that area altogether and it captures something. Like how do you even explain that? So
I
it's like
know.
now I want to keep going back. Now I want to keep
I
doing
always
this.
say
So-
like every investigation that we're done with and we wrap the books on it and we're like, that was interesting. It's like I have more questions than I do answers again.
Yeah.
Like, why?
The one
Yeah.
person I admire is Zach over at Blood Moon. The dude
Oh,
collects.
Shout out. I think he's in the chat even.
Is he? I didn't
Yeah,
even see.
I
but
saw it pop up
Hi
there.
Zach.
he collects data that I don't know anybody else that would have like the patience or care to do that.
Agreed.
And he's getting the results, so he's obviously doing something right. But when he talks about data collecting, like that just takes so much patience and
If
No,
you
care.
well,
guys-
it's scientific theory. That's what it
If
is.
you guys-
You're applying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys get an opportunity, there's a guy out there called his name is Nate Elwell. His name is Nate Elwell. And if you want to talk about a guy who collects data, like his whole thing is debunking. So he will literally go to a place and just debunk everything.
Mhm.
We know
But
a guy
he's
like
got
that too.
he's got folders like that
This
thick
thick.
on one
Oh,
place.
We've talked
It's
about him on the
crazy.
show before. We know this guy. His name is Shane. I forget what his last name is. He has a YouTube
He's
channel.
part of Southern Michigan Paranormal.
Yeah. And
Okay.
he literally, he created a paranormal computer basically. It
And he wrote a
captures-
software for it too.
Yeah, and he built a software for it, and it does literally everything. Any tool that we use,
It'll take a
does.
baseline of the place you're in, so it'll get all the barometrics, all the atmospheres, all
Holy
the
cow.
electromagnetic readings. It'll get like temperature readings. It has like a pressure sensor on the board, and it's all just in this one like brick of just like microchips and other
Craziest
things.
thing you'll ever see.
And he pulls up this graph where he's like, I've been monitoring this place for the past 24 hours. And wherever I see an anomaly, we can go back and look on the cameras where the anomaly happened at that time of night and see what it was. And then they get the baselines where it's like, okay, well, there's an electric current that runs through here at like 0.3. So now if you get spikes at 0.3, you know it's probably not paranormal. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah, it's
God, he's
crazy.
so
Like,
fucking
He'll
smart.
rent out a place for like an entire week and leave it in there for like 4 or 5 days. Go
Mhm.
Wow.
investigate, and then go back and relook at all of the data and see if there's any difference between the like stale building or the like paranormal like reach, if there
That's
was any
awesome.
change. It's
Yeah.
really crazy.
Yeah, and like he had a story too where they were on the LST, which is a ship here in Muskegon that was part of D-Day, and it saw battle in World War II. It never took about like a bullet or anything, or nobody was like killed on board, but they had prisoners of war on there, medic evacs, and all that. So it's docked in Muskegon. They were doing an investigation on there. Well, the way the hull is, it is like it's like a trap. So like magnetic waves and shit aren't not supposed to leave it. So radio waves, you know, like if you tune into the radio frequency that's supposed to be just for Coast Guard and stuff, well, it's not like you're supposed to be picking up other signals. And they were in the middle of an electrical storm. Every time a flash of lightning would hit, he would hear a person's voice that shouldn't have been there. And this was coming from one of the biggest skeptics that I have ever came across in my life. And he was like, I don't know how to explain it. And it's like, there's evidence.
That's insane.
That's so
It's
cool.
wild.
I know. And it's the science part of it. That's the part that people don't, I think, put enough stock in, where it's like, yes, paranormal is taboo and it's spooky and it's weird and wild and you can't explain it, but you can apply all kinds of different theories, applications, ways to test these theories, and it's endless.
I think that's what makes paranormal investigating so fun, is like there's so many different avenues for, you know, people that love data or science and love to experiment. What better to experiment than something nobody can see or explain or has ever been able to explain in human history?
Yeah,
I think
100%.
something that was kind of funny. So I actually just sent out a couple of these hats this past weekend, and at the post office, the guy was asking me what I was doing, and I was like, "Well, first off, it's kind of not your business," but I was like, "Nah, we'll talk about it."
Man,
And
why
that was
not?
fun. Yeah. So I was like, you know, we're just sending out a couple hats to some people for our YouTube channel or whatever. He's like, "Oh, what is it? Ghost, bro?" I was like, "Yeah, it's our paranormal content," and we ended up getting to like a 45-minute conversation as he's as he's like serving everybody else in the post office about you know, some ghost hunting and stuff, and he was just talking about just some of the I think he said something about, like, I don't know if you guys know him or not, New England Paranormal or something like that, but he was talking about how scientific and all them that they do, like they bought like seismographs and stuff like that just to see, like,
Whoa.
I was like, man, that's crazy.
But I mean, it's the lengths that people will go to find the answers. Because I mean, I granted, like, I am super curious and I want to know, but like, I don't think I'm gonna buy a seismograph, because if I feel the floor move, I know something's going on. And it's a little expensive. But like, I love that. Like, I love the passion where it's, especially like coming across somebody that you don't know, and they have the same type of passion, but they probably don't have the avenue like we do to express it.
Yeah.
And who knows if they've ever actually gone out and experienced it like we have. And we always tell people, do it. It's worth it. It is so awesome to see something with your eyes or hear something with your ears that you've never seen or heard before.
Yeah, that leads me to my next question. Have either of you seen an apparition?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't think we have. No,
I
don't
have
think
not. He did.
So I will say this, and this is kind of how we got into talking about at Prospect. So one of our theories is when you go into a place, you open yourself up, you introduce yourself. We always say our names before every investigation. That way the spirits or entities know who they're dealing with and that type of stuff. And at Prospect, for the first time ever, we were like, hey, let's just kind of like open ourselves up and kind of talk about maybe what we're going through or something like that. And the only time that I could ever possibly say in my entire life that I've seen something, I was little. And I think it has to do with something maybe with like the innocence of a child. Sometimes, you know, you always hear these stories from people like, when I was little, I saw this or that. Well, my parents,
my mom.
Yeah. So like my dad's a pastor and my mom was working at the church at the time. And then I was little, and I this is the craziest story, but I remember I was learning how to tie my shoes. So I went downstairs into our basement, and for whatever reason, we were renting this like house, and it had a hot tub in the basement.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I go down there for whatever reason. I'm thinking it's like, oh, maybe they're down here or whatever. And I look up, and in this like area of the basement, there's like, you know, those like louver doors that like swing open and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, we like the all the louver doors where the hot tub is, they're swung open, and the rocking chair is like across from the hot tub.
Oh
And
boy.
this is the 90s, so everything's really weird, right?
Yep.
I vividly remember seeing, and I can, like, again, goosebumps. I can see these kids in old gear, like old like garbs and robes and stuff like that, and they're just sitting there staring at me,
Oh
and I'm like,
man.
oh, this is
Creepy.
yeah, this is not right. This is not right. And then that was it. And then I ran to the church to see my mom and dad because I was like, nope, this is not
Nope,
right. But
I'm noping out.
I have never seen anything.
Oh, he's never seen anything.
Never seen anything.
Blackness.
Bye, Caleb.
No, no. That's the biggest thing that I want to see is an apparition. I don't know if I want to see it or not, but like inside right now, I want to see one when I go on a ghost
I
adventure.
thought we were getting left on a cliffhanger. It's like,
Yeah, I'm good to go. I've done my time, see you guys.
That would have been better than him coming back.
That's fair. That's fair.
Also-
You guys made the mistake of inviting me on, so this is on you.
oh,
Also, I just noticed the bullshit of his most attractive ghost bro.
oh, good.
True or not, you don't say it. You keep that to
That's
yourself.
fair. That's
That's fair.
Right now, it's
I was wondering if you were ever gonna say something.
What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Man. So like I guess like my first experience, I was a lot younger too, and like it was like the most vivid experience for me because I had my hair pulled. And this was before I even like really was a believer in anything. And like we got it all on video, and like I've told the story like 100 times on the pod, but I was just at a friend's house and we were all fucking around. We made a Ouija board off of like literally like crayons and paper and a Connect block. And we were just like, let's be funny tonight. Like we're bored. And this was in like, I think I was in high school, honestly. So I'm like tied to a chair at one point, put in the back of the electrical closet. This house isn't that old, but they have seen things. Doors have opened on their own. And like, I knew about it, but I was like, that's all bullshit. And then while the camera's sitting in my lap, it dies and it had a full battery. So they picked it up, turned it back on. And then finally the money shot was me sitting there smiling and laughing. And then all of a sudden my head almost hits the wall and I had hair like down to my shoulders.
Whoa.
And like it's on camera. And then and I'm like, guys, get me the fuck out of here right now. And I went from being like funny to like stone cold sober. Like, nope, I don't want anything to do with this house. Get me out of here. I didn't even sleep the rest of the night because I was on a beanbag for like 12 hours, like with a blanket over my head. It's awful.
Wow.
Yeah, I would probably never go back to that location ever again.
I
don't care if he was my
haven't
best
been talking
friend.
about it. Yeah, I don't think I've been. And like they even said, like one of my other friends, he had a somewhat similar experience where he saw like a black figure go up the stairs because their stairs in their basement didn't have like the railing, so it was just like how it would be the wall, like half wall or whatever, and then just like it went straight up, so you could see somebody crawling up them. He said he saw like a kid, but like our age, so he thought it was one of our friends going upstairs in the middle of the night, and then he went and looked upstairs because he thought he was getting fucked with. And then turns out all of our friends, his parents, like everybody else was sleeping and he was the only one awake. And he distinctly remembers that he saw this. And then they said they put a cross on that, like the, whatever you call that runner right there next to the shelving. And he was like, never saw it again. We didn't even have any more like problems at all after that. And I was like, are you kidding me? I don't think like, I don't know how much I believe in demonic presences.
We just want to know if the footage still exists.
I have to find it. It's on one of the oldest camcorders known to man. And I don't know if he has it anymore. But I mean, I can ask him. I'm sure he does because he doesn't get very much. But yeah,
funny.
it was spooky as fuck.
Well, I know you guys are the interviewers, but if you don't mind me asking you, what is you asked us? I'm curious. What's your guys' favorite location that you've been to?
That's so tough because there's been a couple that have
Mine,
been
honestly,
high.
it'd have to be Eloise Asylum.
Nice.
Eloise was cool. I definitely rate it pretty high because of a lot of the evidence that we caught there, and it was like unexplainable.
It was just one of the first like times I've ever been in a building that is completely abandoned, like left how it was the day.
And it just doesn't fit where it's at, the location either. But then like we had knocking on things like in rooms that we were in and like we couldn't explain it, or we had like an explosion of light in a room in the basement, and like like other people saw it, but then even our tour guide like kind of like brushed us off. But me and Riley were 100% like, dude, somebody just shined a big ass
We
mag light in
literally
this
thought
room.
someone had a REM pod in one of the rooms at the end of the hallway. And mind you, it's completely dark. There's no lights or anything.
Yeah.
And we both saw it, and we just like left the tour basically and went down there and checked it
And
out.
it was a brick square room with
and there
nothing.
was nothing in there. And then another dude came down. He's like, are you down here to check out that light too? And we're like, yeah.
And this guy was super skeptical. He was like, I don't really believe in the paranormal.
He had this giant mag light too,
Yep.
and just was shining
and
up
it was the equivalent
everything.
of the light that went off in the room, is what it felt like when he shined it.
Holy
man.
cow.
That was fucking weird. And then we went upstairs later in the investigation, and we had this like little ducky that we like, if we squeeze it, it'll light up. And it is literally a toy we buy at Meijer. Like it's $1. Like it's one of those things where we're like, you want to buy that? Just try it. Okay, why not? Okay. And then we throw it down in the middle of like 15 people in our group. And we're like, hey, if you're here, can you light this duck up? On demand for like 20 straight minutes. It was going off when we would tell it to. And I was like, I don't know what to say.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but Old Lincoln to me was my favorite just because it was our first big one. And then we heard the jail cell door. And then I forgot who asked the question, but we were sitting in front of one of the cells that me and Riley were really drawn to.
I think it was you.
And I think I was like, didn't you have a horse named Lady? Because he did. And like the whole backstory, we learned about it. And it was really interesting. And then it was like a voice came through and it was like, oh, yeah. And it was super raspy and gravelly. And you could clearly hear it like right up against the microphone.
I'm
And I
sure
was
I
like,
can find that. It's in our audio files somewhere on Facebook, I'm sure.
Yeah,
That-
it was one of the craziest
I think it's
things.
actually, if you listen to the Old Lincoln County Jail podcast episode, I'm pretty sure that EVP is played on that
Probably.
episode.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
it's literally in our like unorganized file system somewhere.
That's
That
so
kind of
cool.
reminds
Though.
us of Randolph. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Randolph County Infirmary.
Mm-mm,
Haven't.
not
It's
yet.
like right outside of Ohio and Indiana, I think. But that night, I believe, was probably one of our crazier nights. We had invited a couple other people to come along with us that night, and I mean, that was the first time we ever tried a double SS method. And
Oh yeah.
Armand and a couple other people were all the way downstairs, and we were in the attic. And the attic is the entire length of the building, 50,000
Okay.
square feet.
Holy shit.
And there's only a couple of us up there, and I mean we're getting responses that are absolutely insane. And it's saying we're like asking questions through the walkie-talkie to somebody doing the SS, and then the replies are coming back up through
Oh my
the
God.
other SS method. And again, kind of talking about where we leave our stationary cameras and stuff. We left one by the jail cell. There's a jail cell in there.
Yep.
And this thing, no joke, I'm not kidding, it's probably 300 pounds. And like you got to force it open to move.
Yep.
There's a REM pod outside of it. There's a motion light right outside of it. And you hear, and the motion light goes off, REM pod starts going off. And we're just like, and nobody's there. So that's like one of our stationary cameras. We had no idea that was happening until our mom went to go edit it. I'm telling you, I again, goosebumps.
Yep.
Just like,
Man.
dude, that stuff is absolutely insane. Because like you said, it's so unexplainable.
Mhm.
Like you see this and you hear this heavy iron door move.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's like, if you feel this yourself, what?
Yep. That was
and
Old Lincoln.
That was Old Lincoln. And literally the 10 other people that were with us in that group, because we did it through Ghost Hunts USA,
We're in the basement.
were in the basement and they didn't hear it.
And we were on the 3rd floor, I think.
We literally went down because it was during the part of the night where you can all split up and do your own thing. So we were doing our own thing. They were like 2 floors below us,
Mhm.
and they didn't even hear it.
Yep. And like we were sitting in a room like not even in the cell blocks. It was in like I don't even know. It was like I think
It
the
was-
infirmary room
Yeah, it
or
was the
something.
infirmary room. Like,
And then all of a sudden we both just heard that and then both of us like looked at each other and we're like, is anybody else up here? And like we asked, we didn't even go down the hallway yet because we were like, I'm scared. Hold on, go downstairs first. And we went and saw if anybody else was up there, and everybody was downstairs doing some other bullshit. And then we went back up there and looked down the hallway, and one of the doors was more was it shutter open? I don't remember now.
open.
Yeah, it was more open than
So
what
it's
it was
more in the
before.
hallway.
Yep.
than it
And
was
before we
like not much, but like
you had to walk around it, and before you could walk straight down the cell block.
it was weird.
So it was like, wait. This is rusted, and like you said, it's like 300 pounds of like cast iron. Like, wait. How?
Yeah. It's absolutely bonkers. True. And that's what, like you were saying, you tell anybody if you want to go do it, because you don't really know that you don't know the experience just by like watching stuff on TV
No,
or
not at
YouTube
all.
until
No.
you're actually there and you experience it. And that's what sold me. I'm not kidding. I was probably the biggest skeptic. I never even believed in any of that stuff. And like I said, I just
Right.
kind of came along to make fun of everybody. But yeah,
We always
when
say
you're in
skeptics
the
first.
moment,
You have
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
skeptics
Yeah,
first.
I think like we tend to go into places thinking nothing's going to happen tonight. You know, like it's just going to be
You
like
got
a
to
night hanging
undersell
out
it
at
to
home.
get the overachievement.
Yeah, you do.
absolutely, absolutely.
And you really shouldn't go in expecting anything because most likely something's probably not going to
I
happen.
always say
honestly.
locations are like batteries. You could go on a day that it's not charged, and then what? You
Yeah.
think nothing's happening because it's just broken. Like no, like it's not. It's more likely you're gonna go to places and things aren't gonna happen, and then you'll strike lightning once and get a day where it's just crazy.
Yeah, dates
Mhm.
are specific to like anniversaries or dates leading up to an event
I think the
that
moon
happens
cycles
somewhere.
honestly do have something to do with
Moon
like
cycles,
energy
storms.
too. As weird as it is.
Well, we went to Waverly the second time, and Armand, please answer questions so I don't keep talking. But we went to Waverly the second time, and we were really, really excited because it was our first time ever going back when we were serious about it.
Yep.
And for most of the night, we didn't really capture a whole lot, but we were ending towards the end of the night. We're like, hey, let's just go up to the 5th floor. Have you guys ever been to Waverly?
No,
No.
unfortunately. I mean, I've seen
Go
plenty of
for it.
videos, so I know what it looks like.
Yeah.
We will definitely get there one day.
Am I allowed
we
to
went
share
up-
my screen? Am I allowed to show you? Like as
you
he's talking,
you
can I pull it up?
anything you want.
Yeah,
We
pull up for
honestly
sure.
Go
we
for it,
talked
dude.
about doing like eventually like when we're like not so busy to like pull up your guys' videos or other people's videos and show them back
Yeah.
and be like, yo, what the fuck happened here?
So go ahead, Armand. Go ahead and
It'll
do that
take
now.
it'll take me a minute, but you go ahead and get it started.
Yeah, so we, like I said, through most of the night, we really didn't get anything, and we were kind of disappointed because it's like, man, Waverly has such a historic,
Yep.
I don't
It's got
know,
the stigma around it.
yeah. So you're expecting to get something, and we really weren't getting anything. We're kind of tired. It was freezing cold. I mean, we're talking like under 10 degrees.
Yeah,
and
Eloise
there's
was
no
-5.
windows. No, thank you. So we went upstairs to the 5th floor, and we were like, all right, let's just set up. We were on our last camera, our last battery, and I was like, I'm just gonna set it up right here in the hallway
Just
from the
let's do it.
steps. Yeah, and then there's 2 rooms on both sides if you go up there, and one was like the adults who were pretty much gonna die, and the
Oh,
other
yeah.
side
Yep.
was the kids who were pretty much gonna die.
So it
So-
was basically hospice.
100%, 100%. The
Are
the
you able to
nursing
see my
station.
screen?
Yeah, we can add it.
I'll add it. There we go.
Oh, nice. There you go.
So
So yeah, so right now the point of view that you're looking at is from the adult side, and where it's orange inside that area right there is the nursing station by the elevator. So go
Okay,
ahead and
yep.
play it.
So really quick, I apologize not to drag it out. For context, we're the only ones on the 5th floor. There's only one way in and out of the 5th floor, and we have a camera on a tripod pointing at the door. And there's on the 5th floor windows that are open, and it was raining. It was like January or December, so there was like puddles inside.
Yeah.
There's video that I already went past, and you can see the full one where we actually filmed ourselves walking into the 5th floor, and there's nothing on the concrete. So this is the camera that is there's a REM pod there. That's what the lights are. That's the only way in and out of the 5th floor, and we just have this camera sitting here. We're all
It's muted.
well, that's I didn't want to talk over it. I apologize. So
Oh, okay.
we no. So then we're sitting there lined up, and the REM pod is not stopping. It has not stopped going off for like 6 minutes. So we thought there was something wrong with it. So we walked.
think that too frequently.
Yeah.
This is us going to reset it.
So Trevor's walking over to the tripod to reset.
Step away from that.
God, you can hear it going off too.
Whoa. That's like barefoot. Dude, those are footprints. It's wet. That's like barefoot.
What the
Dude, those
fuck?
are footprints.
That's me freaking out.
Dude,
I'll
that's
pause it. This is
crazy.
this is the only time in 3 years that we've ever claimed like physical evidence. This is, I would say, in 3 years, the greatest thing we've ever caught. So again, it is. I mean, you see how bundled up we are. We all have boots on, and it is.
Those are bare feet.
There's
It's
Yes.
Those are
smells,
bare
too.
feet.
It's maybe 23 degrees and the windows are all open. So we're freezing, and it'll show in a minute a puddle. But the context of us being the only ones up there, we walked in and you can see and I can rewind it after this. I mean, the concrete's clear. There is nothing on the
my
concrete when we
God.
walked in 15 minutes ago. But then you can see the puddle where it almost looks like where it came from out from in there. Where
It's
there's
like two footprints standing there. It's
You see
dry.
that?
Oh my God, you can. They're literally look where
Yeah.
the light is. Oh my
Oh
fucking
my
God.
god, that's crazy.
And you
dude.
can literally watch. So the footsteps.
If you're interacting with that, can you now go back to it?
I just
What was that?
Sounds like a door creaking. If you're interacting with that, can you now go back to it?
That's
None of us
oh
have
my
looked through
God.
Yeah, so Caleb's explaining like no one. We have boots on. No one's gone in there.
That
It literally has like the distinct print of like the
Yes.
bottom of a foot, not like,
Like
a
that's a
shoe.
Weird
toe.
way-
Like that's a toe.
Like what? Like how do
Mhm.
you explain that?
But then the
You
footprints
don't?
just stop. But this was what our camera caught when we weren't up there, when we weren't paying
Oh
attention.
my God.
So the cat toy goes off, same spot where the footprints are. And before the REM pod goes off, like what is that in the corner?
What is
What?
that? It
what the fuck?
that doesn't look like camera distortion to me. That looks like legitimately like rags or something, or like bandages,
Yeah.
or like, dude, that's weird.
And by the way, this is us walking to the 5th floor. I'll just show it really quick for honesty and context. Like there's nothing on the floor.
I'm a
when
little
we're going up
shook.
there.
Like that's crazy.
Look, like there's nothing
That-
there.
that's us right there in the doorway.
The same place that there were footsteps. There's nothing. And that was 10 minutes before the footsteps.
The wildest part to me is like those boot prints, even if they were your feet prints, would have the tread marks. Like it's not going
Yes.
to be a flat mark like that. Like that is not how winter boots or boots in
No,
general
you
are
can
made.
literally see the contour of a real, like a foot, like a
Yeah,
bare
it looks like the
foot.
arch of a foot came down, smushed out a little bit, and then they came back up. It literally is exactly what a wet footprint of like a middle-aged adult or like maybe a child even. Like it's like or like
Dude,
a teenager probably.
And if it was us, you would have saw footprints going in and like standing on it.
Yeah, and I
stuff
mean,
like
if one
that.
of you was brave enough to like and brazen enough to take off your shoes and stand in that,
But the
24
fact that
degrees, fuck.
There was a dry spot too. Like
That's
it's
the weirdest
just
part.
So weird.
So what if this? So the energy it took for it to manifest in the doorway right there made it dry because that's like, you know, energy and heat go hand in hand. And then after it manifests and it starts to walk out, well, who's to say it doesn't change, you know, what like composite makeup or whatever it is, like, you know, like because like solids can turn into liquids can turn into gases, like who knows? Like I this it's so fascinating. And I honestly have never seen out of everybody we've talked to showing us any evidence of footprints like that or any like legitimate, you know, like that type of physical evidence. Like I've seen physical evidence, but like that is wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Trust
again,
me, that
wow.
spooked us out of all get out.
last year we did I think I counted last year we did about 15 or 16 hunts. This year we've paid for all the hunts that we're even doing through December. We're doing I think about 25 this year in total, and we've already done like 15. So I mean, of doing this for this long and that many hunts, at least for us, like that is the most like physical evidence we've ever got.
Yeah, that's extremely credible evidence. And like if anybody wants to dispute that, come at me. Because like I will claim to be an expert and there's no explaining that.
There's no explaining that at all. I've never seen anything like that. Like
That's so
like,
cool.
I always wanted to try like
The baking powder or like,
yeah,
like you know,
yeah.
like on the floor trick.
You ever seen
Yep.
that? I think it was like
We've
on,
tried it.
Nuke's
We've
Top
never gotten
5
anything.
or whatever. The
Yep.
dude had put out baby powder.
Yeah, or
and,
like
you
just
got
do it in the
footsteps going
doorways.
across.
Yeah, like I've always wanted to see that happen, but like that's the next best thing, and that was unintentional. Like that's the even
No.
better part.
Like I said, we had got nothing all night.
Too. Because then, if there wasn't footage beforehand,
Yeah,
even
then
you guys
anybody
probably would
could
have been
come
like,
at
"What the fuck
sideways."
was that? Like, what was it there before and we just didn't notice?"
I
Like,
hate
Yeah.
when we throw evidence because you can't validate it prior, and you're like, it's good, but like I just can't say that it's definitive enough. But like that's definitive.
So you never know when something's going to happen like that. So we always make sure that one of us is either have their camera recording on a stick at all times, even if we're not talking and just walking. Or lately, what we've done is have somebody strapped with a body cam, just so any sound or video, anything. Because, like you said, you never know when it's going to pop up. And it's funny. I've watched your guys' interviews so much that gave me the inspiration to like remember that clip, because I think I'm the one that edits all these. Like I watch like 40 hours of footage, so I never go back and
grueling.
and I never go back and watch any of our videos once I'm done with them. Like I spend enough time with it, I don't need to. I never go back and watch them. But because we knew we were coming on, I started going through and watching some of our old ones. And I hope I didn't interrupt either one of you or dominate the conversation.
You're good.
The only other physical really what I would consider maybe like poltergeist activity was we got last year at Whispers Estate. Have you ever heard of that place?
Oh yeah, I've heard of that place.
Heard that one.
I've heard of it.
So we took there's 5 of us that went, and one of the original guys that started like Ghost Bros with us, that was the last time he ever did a ghost hunt. That was over a year ago. Like it scared the shit out of him.
The investigation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So if it's okay, I mean, I'd love to show you this clip and get your opinion on it. That's okay.
Visual aids are always my favorite.
So this one was probably our either top 1 or 2 pieces of evidence that we've ever gotten in our entire lives. I mean, we're all it happens when we're all sitting there. So there's no faking whatsoever that could possibly happen because we're all literally in camera view. So when you see this, I want to see your stuff.
Like, does anybody ever individually speak out and be like, "Hey, I don't feel right now"?
Oh, so I'm the most scared in the group. The second anything happens, I'm begging them to like let us leave.
Oh man,
an hour in, and he's like, "Dude, I gotta go. No, we went to we did a road trip early this year, I think February or March, somewhere around there, and we did 3 hunts in 30 hours. So we did Octagon House in Tennessee.
Octagon Hall. No. Octagon Hall.
There's like 8 of them in all of America, and that's fucking crazy because they're geometrically supposed to be like paranormal fucked up.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then we went to a movie theater and then ended up at a funeral home at the end of it. And all of us, by the time, I don't know if it was because we were so exhausted from all of it, but by the end of it, we honestly left. We were like, I don't know if we want to do this anymore. Yeah, like we were on the verge of quitting. All of us were.
We even had a hunt planned the next week that we just ended up canceling.
And you guys just kiboshed that.
Yeah, we canceled it. We're like, I don't want to do it.
See, after we watch this clip, I'll tell you about my experience where I physically was affected twice, and I got ill from one of the times, and it was fucking wild.
Yeah.
Jeez. You got up, Armand?
Yep. So this one, I would definitely say some people say it's his arm. I am very quick to debunk things. For this, I don't think it's his arm, but you guys give us your honest opinion. So we're all sitting around this table. Sorry. So the spirit box says Steven, if you heard it very clearly, and that's my law, who's, it's kind of hard to see, sitting next to me. That's his name.
Oh shit.
Steven.
Yeah.
So it said Steven and it said his name, and the whole night Steven kind of had an attitude. He didn't want to be there. He was like not being disrespectful, but definitely not in it. So it said his name's Steven, and then
Steven. That was really weird.
Oh yeah.
EMF goes off.
He's the most skeptical.
So then the EMF started going off.
Is there a ghost next to me?
So then he's kind of getting mouthy. Sorry to keep pausing it. He's like, "So is there a ghost?
Good.
Is there a ghost next to me?" I'll full screen it.
Like, don't be a chicken.
Yeah, and so you see it. All of us. There's no one next to him on the left. I'm only on his right, and we're all sitting there. I'm gonna backtrack it so this toolbar goes away. But look at his phone.
Is there a ghost next to me?
Oh.
What?
Was that? That was my phone.
That wasn't his arm. You can see the tablecloth move.
What? Yeah.
What do you mean? I was just sitting here. Where was it? It was on the side. On the side.
Stop it.
Your elbow hit it? No. Next to me.
No. The tablecloth moves before his arm does anything. He didn't move his arm. That's crazy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Right before that happened, we have 2 cameras on the opposite side on the fireplace. We didn't really think anything of that night.
Damn.
I was just
Something
trying to
came
find that.
and
Yeah.
like flew across that and knocked the camera off the tripod. Just
Yeah, I need to
straight up
find
knocked it
that.
off.
And that's just wind or a bug.
It honestly is that whole place. Dude, I forgot. That was the first place I ever got touched.
So did you see that? So the camera fell right over. It's on top of
Damn,
that
and you guys are like
fireplace.
right there too.
Yeah.
And we always have 3 cameras at once rolling, so you'll see it from that point of view. But if you see my buddy Trevor, where it says Whispers of State on the fireplace, there's a
Yep.
camera and a tripod, so it's about to fall. If you see it,
Dude, no
one's
way.
pushing it. Look at it, but then you'll see it from that point of view. Like it was recording and just fell.
And the fact that none of you are moving, there's probably no way that vibrations are causing that to move because the chandelier's not moving, so there's obviously no wind in there. Like, how does that happen?
So we have a little bit of a theory. I don't know if I believe in portals or nothing like that. I don't have
yeah.
enough evidence or anything like that goes
We
against
haven't
it.
experimented enough.
But there was, I do believe in the transfer of energy from something else. So there was a massive festival going on right outside, and there was a rock band going on that it ended up getting canceled because the storm came through. So between all of the energy from the band and the storm and all that, like we were just kind of getting into this. This was on his birthday last year, and that place was wild. That was a really
That's
really
amazing.
awesome place. I had a Bengals jersey on, and it's got like the really hard like stitched type whatever,
Yeah,
like
it's
the real jersey.
really well made.
Yeah. So it's like if you poke it, like you have to feel it to go through. And Trevor and I were walking up the steps, and I feel something like almost like grab my side, and it goes through the jersey. And I turn around real quick. I was like, "Did you just touch me?" And Trevor's like 7 steps behind me.
And you're like, no.
And not just that, but as soon as I asked that, the REM pod goes off in front of me.
No.
Yes, it was almost like somebody was like, "Excuse me, I'm going through," and
They're
just
like,
like
out
went
of the
right
way.
past me. Dude, it was
Yeah,
wild.
I scooch people out the way all the time, and when I'm at work doing that shit.
Yeah.
I literally had a spirit like grab my ass at Eloise Asylum.
It was on the what geriatric floor though, so it was like like the elderly, but like they were still playful, and there was like chest bones around and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that little whippersnapper.
That happened at ISS. We were going through there, and the tours and stuff. They wanted everybody to do Indiana State Sanatorium. We abbreviate everything because we talk about it so much. But they went completely lights out, and we were by the nursing station. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, I was having a terrible evening. My attitude in that whole place was absolutely awful. We were going there because Armand's, Armand's actually had a family member who was there, like who actually was in that place. So we were kind of going there to see if we can connect with it.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and I'm sitting right outside the nursing station. And that was kind of the first time I've ever felt something touch my butt. And I was like,
"You're like, no, wait,
this is not real." And I was like, literally, just like felt like somebody like kind of give like a little like a little,
yes,
like, a little pinch.
Yeah, like a little feather.
It was
I was
me. It was me.
Debunked
real quick.
But I mean, like, I'm the first to admit when something doesn't look real. But I mean, that phone, like that to me, like looks like it's being pulled from the tablecloth.
Have you guys seen our photo at Mouth of the full body apparition we caught, or the 2 of them that we've caught?
I think I've seen. I'm pretty
one
sure
of them
I've
is like
seen
the
this.
Victorian style
Yes.
dress and hands, and then the other one is like a giant black mass that moves through the frames of our photo.
Haven't seen that. I've seen the Victorian one.
Okay, I think the big black mass one we can find pretty easy, but it was weird because like my wife Jenna, she takes all of our photos, and like this was like her first investigation with us ever.
First investigation.
And she walked out of the car, and not 30 seconds after we got out of the car, we hear this woman just bloody murder scream in the middle of the woods. And it's his Mouth Cemetery, Native American land. It is overgrown and unkept, so it's already creepy enough. We've been there, and this night was like an explosive night for us. And
This night is something. the energy that was in the air naturally.
And it was also during a heat
moved.
storm, so it was a ton of lightning. So it was like
But it
everything
wasn't. It
lined
was
up.
lightning, but not raining.
Yep.
It's like the craziest.
Oh
weather
wow.
day
Yep.
ever.
She's got a little bit of native in her. She walked in there for 30 seconds, said, I can't be in this anymore. Like, I'm gonna go wait in the car.
We were so
she,
confused.
and she walked back out, waited in the car, was in the parking lot the rest of the night. Me and Riley had some crazy experiences ourselves of like our milligauss meter went up to 300, and that's the equivalent of a nuclear bomb going off energy wise.
Jeez.
And we were in the woods here, and then Jenna, right before we're getting ready to leave, me
That
and
might
Riley
not
were
be
like,
big
let's
enough.
go walk through the woods
Alright,
one
one
more
sec.
time. And then she snaps a couple pictures and she catches like this crazy shadow figure while we're in the cemetery. And it doesn't look like a human. It's just like a black mass. And it's like, what the fuck? It's the Grim Reaper. And like, to give it context too, the sign itself is like 10 feet off the ground and it's almost as tall as the sign. So I would put it at like 8 feet tall. So it's like, what
Holy
the fuck
cow.
is this?
Jeez.
Pull up the
What
live
do you-
stream after this too.
Yeah. Okay.
What do
so-
you think? What do you think about that stuff as far as like the size of some of those things? Like, how do you explain that?
So I do think giants were real. Like there's been discoveries of like human remains or human-like remains that are massive, and it's not like unpopular belief that like Mesopotamian countries that there were ancient giant civilizations that, you know, for whatever reason just died out. And it's like I don't know if that's what I'm seeing here or if it's just like a spirit manifesting this way, but it's fucking weird.
So you can see it. It's right here.
Like in the top, it's like you can see it's a little darker, but at the bottom towards the ground, you can see where it's kind of transparent, but it's just this
Yeah.
black streak that shouldn't be there. And
So
that's when we
What?
highlight it.
So this is brightness like turned all the way up. Oh, wrong screen.
And
Whoa.
and like this moves into frame from picture to picture until it's
Yeah,
at
I'll
that
get
point.
the-
What?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's at the off side of the
Holy.
screen there. Yeah, so like we zoomed in when we got closer to it, but it's like it moves in. Like it does, and it's not like a lens flare because I've seen lens flare and that's not a lens
Right.
flare to me. And the rest of everything looks normal. So it's like I can't explain what I'm seeing here. And the fact that when you brighten it up, you can see the trees through the top of the outline, but then that thick part in the middle, why is it so much darker? I don't understand it.
Right. Well, then on top of that too, you got the ground where it literally blacks out the entire ground that it's covering.
Yeah, and it makes zero sense to me because we tried for a long time to debunk this too.
Yeah, because we thought maybe at first it could be our really tall friend, but he
It's
was
not.
the way where he was standing when she took the picture, there wouldn't have been a shadow.
And the
casting
light
this way.
the light
All
you
the
see
shadow
is
would have
the
been
only light.
casting the other way from where everyone was standing. 'Cause the light's
That's not a
big enough.
reflection. No,
No,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying too. And right behind that, where that like tree and that pole is pretty close to where I caught that Victorian like complete figure as well.
Oh wow.
So it's like,
Same
what
place?
the fuck did we catch? Yeah, that was the same
Yeah,
place,
a
and that
different
all
light.
happened in the same night too. It was like the REM pod, not the REM pod, the Milligauss spike, that picture, like some other weird experiences where it's like we went back since then and nothing's happened.
Yeah,
So it's
we've
like,
never
that's
had a night like
wild.
that ever again.
that's
Wow.
insane.
I know,
That's
and
really cool.
I try to show people and they're like, "What is it?" And it's like, I don't know. Like you tell me.
Well, I think like you guys said, like, you know, the atmosphere that you guys were kind of experiencing at that night, like who knows like what could have played into the building of that type of energy. Or who knows? I mean, maybe it was just passing through. I don't know.
Exactly.
You know, maybe it was
then
just a
here's
one-time
the
thing.
Picture
Yeah, and then
Trevor
that's
had.
the one that I caught right outside while we were literally leaving, and same thing. I took that picture right before we left, and I like got home, and at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I was just scrolling through my camera roll, and I was like, "What?"
What?
I was like, "I'm scared now." Like the weirdest part to me is you can see like the hand where it's almost like it's cupping. Like
Yeah.
Oh.
it's
Yeah.
so it's vivid. It lives in my dreams. I'll tell you that.
You can
It's
see the
horrifying,
head and-
honestly. There's something kind of horrifying about this one.
I know, and it would fit the time period because a lot of the graves in there are like 1800s, and it would be Victorian style stuff, or like Native American or like colonists like that moved into the land. Like, yeah, I would 100% believe that.
So
for sure.
we kind of have a like an unwritten rule with Ghost Bros. We do not do cemeteries for this reason right here. We do not want to come across anything like that.
The craziest part though is how many investigations in cemeteries have we done? Probably like 10 or 15
lot.
since we've started in really investigating. And out of those 15, we've had people show up to investigations and made friends probably 4 or 5 times now.
Is that the best?
It's so wild. Where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm so happy so many people are
little
into
hint
this.
into what happens in this upcoming episode. We run into people at the
They're
cemetery.
locals
And
too.
they're awesome.
That's funny.
And
I
that's
can't
the
wait
best.
to
That's
see
funny.
it. Your trailer was badass, guys.
Dude,
I
it
can't wait
is-
to watch the
Like,
video.
no joke, the hardest we've ever worked on a video, because both of us looked at each other. We watched the new Project Fear and we're like, we're fucking slacking. Like, this is literally what we should be doing.
Hey, all right, listen. You guys also didn't get fan funded either, so
That's
it's like
true.
That's
give
true.
yourselves a little bit of a break.
I'm like half ready to like go on Kickstarter and be like, yo, you guys fund the trip to go to West Virginia and hit the loop. I'm all down for it. Everybody that backs us will get exclusive access to the video before it releases.
Hey,
It's not a
there's
bad
nothing.
idea.
There's nothing wrong with trying.
I know, and that's the thing too, is like I don't know about you guys, but like how like sales for us is pretty slow. Like it doesn't really ever do great. And like we fund everything out of our own pockets. And it's like I don't feel bad poor shaming and asking for help, but at the same time, like, is it one of those things where it's like the field is so oversaturated that realistically, has anybody ever
We're
going
just
to donate?
We have
Yeah.
it's tough to realize too. It's like, you know, Dakota and Project Fear, like they're literally rock stars of this
Yeah.
industry right now, right? Like everyone knew who Dakota was before any of that even started because of his time on Ghost
Correct.
Hunters.
Yeah.
And
And we're all just rags to rich stories.
yeah, we're all just kind of aspired to have an opportunity like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're pretty self-aware. We think we're pretty good, but we
Right.
know our worth. We stay in our lane. None of us at Ghost Bros have like the aspiration to do this full time. Like this is just a total self-funded hobby because
Heck yeah. We
have
always
nothing
say that
better
this
to
is a
do.
hobby, but like realistically, if I could live off of doing this, like that'd be the biggest passion
Oh,
that I
yeah.
could possibly
Of
like
course.
chase that I think
Yeah.
realistically is doable at this point.
yeah,
So I think one of the things that I talk about myself, and Armand and I have had this conversation multiple times. Like the thought of that is so cool just to think about. Like, man, this could be my full time thing. But like you were saying, the oversaturation of this market
It's so big.
is so tough. So it's like, how are you going to separate yourself from everybody else? Like, what's
Exactly.
going to make you that that group? So we're just having fun with it. We want to just keep doing it. If it happens,
Yeah.
cool. But if not, we don't want to lose our passion for it,
Right.
for this
Exactly.
hobby or just anything like that because we're so jaded because something hasn't happened. Like we get such a kick and a rush from just going and being
Oh, yeah.
together as
Yeah.
friends that we're okay with kind of whatever happens.
Yeah, that's kind of where like
It all started with just us just talking. Like it was a
Yeah.
hobby at first. That's
was-
exactly
yeah.
what it was.
it was an idea that sparked. We've said it, 100 times on the podcast. Like we never ever planned. I think there at one point there was 8 people watching us. Like in our minds when we created this show, like that was never even.
It was
like,
just for us.
something we thought would ever actually happen. We were just like, it'd be really cool if people listen to us, but really, having someone in the UK listen to our podcast, that's probably not going to happen. And then like a year down the line, we're like looking at statistics and it's like, damn, dude, we've touched every continent this year.
Or like,
Isn't that the
you
best
get, like,
feeling?
what was it? Like top 80 and
Yeah,
like,
it's like-
one out of 100. Like
for the
of
past
best
2
spooky
years,
podcasts out
we've
there.
been ranked.
I'm
in
not
the top
surprised.
100 spooky
You guys have
podcasts.
great chemistry. Like you guys work well together, and you guys
Just
are fun to
because we
listen
should have
to.
been brothers, but we weren't.
Well, so many people have podcasts. That's like,
Yep.
okay, like what makes you special? And no kiss assing. I mean, why we like watching you guys is just that you guys, it sounds dumb. Like when I say talk clear, like so many people just like suck at talking, as
I know.
dumb as that sounds. Like you two like are so cohesive and you don't interrupt each other. It's easy to follow. You listen. I learned so much from the guests you have on. Like you guys have it all. Your setup, your sound, like
Hell yeah.
you guys are the real
appreciate
deal.
that.
We appreciate that, definitely. And like the hardest thing for us too for like the past 3 years, really.
Reading.
Yeah, so we suck at reading, but people still like it because we're just unapologetically ourselves all of the time.
That's
Yeah.
what people
We don't-
want.
Yeah, and we don't care. Like I know I can't read. I've read in class for years at high school and elementary and middle school. I know I can't read. All right.
The only reason why we're called Ghost Bros is because literally when anything ever happened, the only words I could muster were yo or bro. So
Yeah.
you're fine. One of our wives literally was like, "You guys should just call yourself the Ghost Bros,"
You know
and
what
that's
I
how
love
we
about
that's how we
that?
got it.
In high school, we used to literally walk up to our friend groups and be like, "Dude, man, bro." And
Yeah,
that was just
dude,
how
man,
we
bro.
would assume, like, that's just how we gotta like approach each other. Just dude, man, bro.
Yeah,
Like, what's up?
I'm as Neanderthal as it gets when it comes to vocabulary. So when anything happens, like you could like literally ask Armand, Trevor, or other guy Sapien. They kind of look at me sometimes like, "What are you saying? You're not saying anything. You're just like making sounds." And I'm like, "Ah, it
See, like
happens."
That's literally us hanging out
the
all
other
the time.
day in
There'll
our
be
group
times where we're
chat,
just-
we were talking about our upcoming investigation, and they were like, "I'm so excited," and it's literally just us being us. I was like, I am more excited than a whore going to an all boys school for athletes and actors, and they were like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I was
But-
like, "It's so exciting, guys."
But that realness and like authenticity is like lacking so much right now because everybody tries
Mhm.
to mind their P's and Q's or be
I
PC,
can't
whatever
really
they
watch
want.
Ghost Adventures anymore because it feels
Yeah.
so disingenuous now.
Yeah,
And
it's
don't-
forced.
I don't agree with a lot
is
of
a
the
little
stuff that
forced.
they put out.
I agree.
And Armand has literally watched every episode. So him agreeing to that, I know that's
That's
that's hard for him to say. But
I mean,
no,
I got
it
my
definitely it's
4-year-old
like
addicted to it because we watch so much of it.
My dog
It-
loves it because of the sounds, all the
Oh,
sound
yeah.
effects and stuff. My dog is always. But
That's
Trevor,
awesome. But
you
yeah.
you were gonna say something like 10 minutes ago when I started to bring
being
up the phone.
affected. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's so wild. So there's 3 really distinct times that I'm like, I think I might be a lot more like, I don't even know how empathic or like open to that stuff because I'm like always the one that I get home from a paranormal investigation and I'm like shaking and like just like wired still, and like everybody else is like, yeah, I'm excited, but like go fucking sleep, dude. And then when we came back from Eloise Asylum, we had had a great night. No bad vibes, nothing. Everything was amazing. I had one of the best times ever investigating. And like we were jazzed the whole way home, like singing, you know,
We
like
literally had like a 3-hour sync, like
it was a karaoke sesh for sure. And then when we got home, I walked into our house and I was like, I feel awesome. I walked towards the bathroom and I was like, I'm gonna go take a leak and go to bed. And just started violently throwing up. And I was like, what's happening? Like, wait, what? And then like even my wife was like, dude, are you okay? And I was like, I don't even feel sick. Like, what is happening? And the next day, my daughter had a rocking chair in her room that was like one of the smaller, like doll size ones.
Oh,
That bitch was rocking on its own in the fucking baby camera. And I was like, yeah, that's not cool. Like, that's really weird. And I was like, okay, so yep, that I might have brought something with us. Maybe. I don't know. But like we saged the room and did like the cleansing stuff. I don't know how much I believe in it, but it didn't happen after that. So cool. And then after Old Lincoln County Jail, I had one of the most vivid, like reactive dreams that I've
I will
ever
vouch
had.
for him. While I was driving, he was passed out,
Like
passed out,
zonked.
like out cold.
Like head on the glass, like snoring, drooling on the window and everything. Like I was done. Though. And we adjusted the whole investigation. We spent 2 hours and drove home. It was a lot. So I was co-piloting, but I was not being a good co-pilot. But my dream was we were in Old Lincoln County Jail and we were walking down one of the cell blocks and I walked in front of one of the
Same one we
cells.
caught the disembodied voice in, by the
and
way.
we had been drawn to it all night. Well, I remember looking into it and it felt like how I said Vanta Black earlier, just the absence of everything. I looked into a dark hole and it was nothing. And it was darker than every other cell. And I was like, weird. Feels like almost like static is coming out of here. Maybe it was just like my body was reacting to like what I was seeing or something. Like, I don't know. But then like I walked in there, nothing was really that weird. So we left, we did the investigation, we got in the car to go home, and I'm sleeping, and I have the dream where I'm walking back through that cell block. I get back to that cell block door, I look into it, but this time I see this big black mass of like this just big burly guy just rush me. And right when it would hit me, I woke up and like
started screaming.
Super panicky, was like looking around. I was like, what
what,
fuck?
bro? What? And I'm like driving down the highway.
You're like half asleep.
Yeah, like you looked at me like
bro,
I was
what's going on? I was
crazy. And
like,
I was
what's-
like, dude, like I had vivid dreams before, but like nothing like that like shook me
Yeah.
that hard. And like I hadn't had a night
Holy
terror
cow.
nightmare since I was like 8. So I was like, whoa, like I'm like way past being like a teenager. Like I'm a full-fledged adult now. Like this is really weird to have
Yeah.
this dream.
And
And then
I'll
That's
piggyback
crazy.
off that a
yeah,
little bit.
it's so weird the whole thing after
So
too.
like I've feel like I've been affected like a couple times. When I was in Alaska, I lost my breath and I can't explain it. Like I literally just went flush
Probably
away.
because
we're
it's
hockey
Alaska. It's
players,
Couldn't
so,
cold.
like,
breathe. And
we have good lungs too.
Yeah,
So it's
and
like that doesn't make sense.
I was actually in a valley. I wasn't in the mountains, so the altitude
Oh,
was
wow.
below sea level actually. So it was just like really weird to like lose my breath out of nowhere, and end up catching a disembodied voice that was like really breathy, like hello, and it sounded like someone who was just trying to get a breath out. It was really weird. But leading into our video we have coming out Friday, I haven't had any type of weird things like that ever again. But he kind of mentioned it earlier about us having the same dream. Well, what my dream was there's a specific scene in our video, and I remember it very clearly, even like seeing it in person, not just through the video.
It's looking into a tunnel of trees in the
It's looking into this
cemetery.
tunnel of trees. They're giant oak trees, like massive. And there's just like probably 15, 20 of them. And a light is like shining down there. And in my dream, I seen this, like, I hate to say skinwalker, but that's kind of what it looked like. It was like a coyote, but it
It was like half animal person.
It didn't have like ends to its arms. They're like pointy and like drapey, like long things coming off of them. I don't really even know how to explain it, you know? And I seen it and it like looked at me and was like moving all creepy to me. And then it just like disappeared. And I kind of like woke up.
Yeah, I would too.
And then I told him about it the next day, and he's like, "What? You had a weird dream about the place too?"
I had
And
the same shape of figure. I didn't see it as clear as him because it was darting through the wood line for me. And it was like same spot because we were watching the video together, and I was like, that looks like the spot that I would have saw it in my dream, or it looks similar. And he's like, no fucking way. Like that is exactly what I would have pictured too. And it's like, that's
Holy cow.
really weird. But then to even go farther off of this point, so I have a theory where what if our dreams are actually the visions of things that we've seen? So that vivid dream that I had, what if when we were there, I really saw that, but my brain subconsciously buried it. And
Absolutely.
then while I'm sleeping, it unlocks that, you know, like the locked door because your brain
brain's
does
like,
its
"Hey,
own thing.
I have to show you something."
Yeah.
But I don't want to like freak you out.
And then
you know
who's
what
to
I mean?
say
Like,
that we didn't have that same experience? Because actually, now that I think about it, I had a third experience or fourth experience on top of that where I think I got followed home by a skinwalker because we were at the Eden Springs House of David in Benton Harbor, Michigan for the Ghostorama event that was just recently there. Like Tommy, Randy's Real Paranormal, like a bunch of people that we're friends with were there too. So we were down in this amphitheater that isn't an amphitheater anymore. It's just a big concrete slab. And it used to be a pond was there, and then they built over it, and then they built this big amusement park that it's being renovated right now. So it's got a lot of the historical, you know, like stuff that was there still on the property. So there's a lot. But they had been saying that they'd been seeing this like dark mass, you know, like in the wood line, because this is a big facility too. So like you could walk from one end to the other, and it would take a couple hours probably. So they've been seeing this on the grounds, and then we're down there doing our investigation, and through the Spirit Talker app, we get I affect the animals. And I was like, well, that's really weird. And then on the other Spirit Talker we had going through somebody else's, it said Skinwalker. And we were like, well, that's even more weird. And then all of us that were like in this small little group all heard this like a screechy gurgle sound come from the woods. And we were like, what the fuck was that, dude? I can't explain it. It's not a bullfrog. I know what bullfrogs sound like. So after we went back up and talked to the people that work there and whatnot, they were like, yeah, like I can confirm I've been seeing things like this. So we were like, that's really weird. Well, we go start doing a little bit more investigation. My wife goes on her own and she starts looking at like this baseball field that used to be there, and she had like a softball, so she was trying to talk to, you know, the baseball players that were part of it. Well, this dark like entity, I would say, or Skinwalker, was around because it said exterminatus something, and it was like Latin for like black dragon.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's the House of David itself now, but Eden Springs House of David is like that big square there, I think.
Right here.
Yeah, I think that's maybe not. I can't tell anymore. I can't tell on Google Maps, but it's in Benton Harbor. Like it's got to be at least like 50 acres of property they have.
That's
now.
huge.
And
that's insane.
So we get that. Yeah, so we get that on the spirit talker that she's using, and it's like I've never seen it say Latin. So we're like, turn it off, like let's go do something else. Like that's really weird. Well, we get home at 3 o'clock in the morning. We're laying in bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and then we hear some weird shit on the porch. And I'm like, that's weird. I'm just gonna say nope and go to bed. So we go to bed. The next day, we're filling up my daughter's pool in the front yard, and my mother-in-law is there. We turn on the Spirit Talker app again, just for shits and gigs to show her what it does. It says Skinwalker again. And then it says stranger. And then it says something like, I see you. Well, I looked at our fucking security cameras. The morning we got back at 10 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the broad daylight, this dude walks up my porch, looks in our windows, and then just walks away. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, it's I don't know how paranormal that is, but it's like it is super weird that I came home after getting like
The
Skinwalker
coincidences,
stuff,
yeah.
had that weird noise, and then turned the Spirit Talker app on again, and then it almost alluded to the fact that there was people looking in my windows that night. Like, what is happening?
Wow.
That's horrifying. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
and I mean, like that seems to happen like every other investigation. I've had my wallet stolen by ghosts before. That was
Yeah.
wild.
Legit.
Wait,
That's-
Let's
what?
tell that story because that
Okay.
was funnier from your
So-
perspective.
It was funnier. So there's this haunted cemetery literally 15 minutes from here called Nunica Cemetery. And we've investigated there quite a few times and had some pretty good stuff happen. That's where in our intro video, the devil, that's
Yep.
that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
cemetery. And there is a spirit that is known to be a trickster there. His name is literally, I think, James Bond. It's Bond.
Yeah,
I know that
it's-
for
it's
sure.
Bond.
We just call him James Bond. Because I have interacted with him before. He likes to laugh at you. He's told
He
me my
steals
jokes
shit.
are bullshit, and like he fucks with you. Like he's a really mischievous spirit. And so Trevor never does this ever. Not much was happening this night specifically, and he started antagonizing.
You guys are pussies. I bet you won't do anything.
Yeah,
This is what I was
saying
doing.
stuff-
I never do that.
He never
I don't
does
know
that.
why I did
So
either.
he was acting completely different. I don't know if he was actually talking to the spirits or actually talking to us at this point.
Don't know.
Actually, but the next day he texts me. He goes, "Yo, did I leave my wallet in your car?" I literally tear my Durango apart. No
Couldn't
wallet.
find it. Couldn't find it anywhere at our house. Couldn't find it in the backpacks. And then I started thinking about it. Right before we left, we were doing a REM pod session, and we were sitting down there, and it started to sprinkle. And we're like, "Well, let's not ruin our equipment." And I go, "I'll leave you something if you make the REM pod go off."
And it went off.
Guess who
Whoa.
didn't leave anything? Guess who got it taken from them?
Jeez.
I was in my back pocket the whole night too. There's no way that it just fell out.
And he went back the next day and
Couldn't
looked
find
for
it.
it for like 4 hours.
Yep. I called the county to see if one of the the housekeepers or whatever you call them, the groundskeepers.
And
found
he had
it.
one of
Nope.
those trackers in it too, and it
Nope.
never showed up.
And I still to this day, I'm like, did I get robbed by a ghost? Like, because that's
insane.
done something. Like, I really wonder, because like I'll 100% say like I'm skeptical, like if that's paranormal or not. Like maybe I lost it. It's
Sure.
it's possible, but it's really ironic that I was like, hey yo, you guys want a present? Like make something happen. And then
like-
it just so happens it did right then and there.
If you think about it, like think about how you guys caught literal like footsteps. Something physical would have had to have made that. Like who's to say that they can't just pick up something physical
Dude,
and just throw it
If
in the
Bond
woods?
was a pickpocket back in the 1800s, who says he's not still fucking good at it?
Right,
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's-
we don't even. He was a trickster, so obviously he probably knew how to pickpocket people or do.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I've seen like TikToks of people like doing that, like the pickpocket trick, or like
And this guy's from the Civil War era.
yeah,
by
where
the
it's
way,
like
too.
it's not hard to do it. Like you can take somebody's watch right off their wrist without them even noticing.
Yeah.
It's really not hard to do.
That's
oh,
freaking
man.
insane.
Yeah,
That's
just
a new one.
few
A
of them.
stolen wallet. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's
That's
like
pretty good.
I always feel like a complete loon telling people this because it's like it's super wild because I've never heard any other stories quite like it, and it's like, is that legit evidence or is that just me being a dumbass? Like I
No.
think it's evidence. It doesn't feel like it's like a coincidence to me, which I always try to
Wow.
say like things that line up probably are coincidence, but especially if you're asking a certain string of questions and then you get a response that is completely in the same like realm of possibilities for the response. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you could have literally said anything at this point, and I would have been like, or whatever. But
Yeah.
nope.
I mean, that's pretty. I mean, that makes a great story too. I mean, that's just cool.
I know
Wait.
it's so much fun.
How old's your daughter, Trevor?
4. She just
I-
turned 4.
I have a 1-year-old who just turned 1, a 1-year-old
yeah.
daughter. And up until a year ago, I never thought twice about ghost hunting. It was something fun to do at night with your
Mhm.
friends and everything. Now that you have a kid, I'm just assuming maybe that's your first, but now that you
Yeah.
have a 4-year-old, do you ever get nervous about possibly bringing something home? Because that's where I'm at sometimes.
Yeah, like I do worry, but at the same time, like my daughter is she's half terrorist, half like paranormal demon herself. So like she's super smart and like understands a lot. Like one of these like last live streams, or maybe it was in one of our podcasts, she was sitting behind us and we were talking about ghosts, and she goes, "Yeah, I seen a ghost once and a scary deer," and she was talking about like wendigos and skinwalkers, and she just didn't give two shits about it. And I was like, that's wild. And this is the same little girl that has seen my mom, who passed before she was ever born, and like walked up to me, and like I had a pillow made that was her shirt. And she goes, "That was Grandma Lori's." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. How do you know that name? And how do you know she's a grandma?" She goes, "That's Grandma Lori." And I grabbed one of the pictures that I have of her, and
Whoa.
I showed her, and she goes, "Yeah, that's her." I like
Oh
did no
man,
questions asked, and was just like, "Yeah, that's it." And I was like,
Dude,
that's
I got
super,
goosebumps.
super crazy. And then at the same time, too, it's like she has she has this like I don't want to say like stigma, but like sometimes she'll like try to creep us out. So she'll do a demon voice. So she'll be like, she'll walk up to us and be like, "Ghost, Whatgoesbump tonight." And it's like, dude, like I can't tell when you're faking or when you're being serious. Because other times she'll be like, "There's a guy in the attic," and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" Like, are we being
Nope.
serious or are we playing right now? And she'll be like, "No, there is. I seen him." And I'm like, "Kid, don't do this to me right now. Like, I'm about to break it all out."
So what you're saying
What's
is
up,
you're
bro?
not. Hey, there's our guy. I love me.
What's
some
up,
Walt.
Like,
Ethan?
I'm worried, but like at the same time, like I think she'd probably handle it pretty well because
Well,
she's fascinated by it.
She is.
I was gonna say you're not worried about bringing something home to your daughter because it sounds like she can fend for herself. She's a
Yeah,
badass.
no, she's like, when I say I don't negotiate with terrorists, I have to every day. It's like, goddamn, that kid is going to
That's
ruin my
awesome.
life for the best possible reasons.
That's amazing. I'm trying to think. Is there we were talking about poltergeist activity. Something the devices are fun, but there
Hmm.
are some that I question, like a cat ball. I love
Yeah.
a cat ball, but like, let's just say those things can't just go off on their own. What's your
Right.
like? What's your favorite tools to use? What are some maybe you don't love or
Okay,
trust?
that is a good one. So we recently just got cat balls. We haven't used them in a
Yep.
paranormal investigation yet. So
I like
interested
simple.
to see how that goes. But we love to use the spirit box. Like we like to use it like 10-minute spurts. Like even if things are going on, just because
Headaches.
headaches, and it's a good time to know that it's go time, because a
Sure.
lot of times when you're paranormal investigating, nothing will happen, nothing will happen, nothing will happen. 15-minute bump, and then you get like this,
Boom,
this,
boom.
and this, and then
Yeah, yeah,
nothing
yeah, yeah.
happened, nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like it happens sometimes in spurts. So like it's good to try other devices, because if you can keep having other devices go off, it only verifies what you're catching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think something that I give credit to Armand because he's the one who kind of wants to do this all the time. But in every video, we try to do something new. We try to bring something new, try to do something different.
Yeah.
Whether people notice that or not, I don't know, but we talk about it all the time. But when we first started kind of doing that was the first thing we ever used was cat balls, and
Mhm.
they never went off. The first time they ever went off was at Prospect Place. And if you guys get a chance to kind of go through some of the videos or whatnot, or anybody who's listening,
I'm gonna pull something up.
the person in our group who has the best reactions to anything going off is Trevor. Trevor is probably our biggest
Probably
skeptic,
me.
but he's always looking for something to happen. Like he wants something to happen, but he's probably one of our biggest skeptics. So whether it's Prospect Place, again in the attic, for whatever reason, people like the attics, right? It's in a U shape. It was an old ballroom, and it's got like a bloody cross on the wall and a bunch of different stuff like that. That's supposed to be like some sort of portal. But he's probably the least scared in our entire group. So he'll be by himself all the time. No problems, nothing. So he's going around this like U-shaped.
Hold on, I have it pulled up if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Show
Go
it,
for
show
it.
it.
Sorry, not that you're not a great storyteller, Caleb.
I'm not.
On the
If you can see this, we all left. By the way, this is the same place we heard our first disembodied voice.
Oh, you're gonna have to show it now that you had the video pulled up.
So, everybody left Prospect Place. We all went outside, and Trevor went in by himself.
huge. It's definitely an eerie feeling being in here by yourself. I think you get so used to the comfort of having company, but you start to feel it, the heaviness a little bit more. It's just you.
It looks so spooky.
So this is the attic ballroom,
Oh
and
wow.
listen to.
Sorry, here's something. It's like something scratching that wall. I either heard something directly above me, or like somebody just had their nails against the wall walking slowly.
Oh shit.
If there's anybody in here with me, can you kick that ball? Hello?
What? I love that.
They're in
Nobody.
the basement.
They're in the basement.
I keep hearing something over here.
This is the best part.
Holy
Oh shit.
hole.
That's the first time it ever went off for us.
Okay.
So the only question I have is, they didn't go off walking around that beforehand.
No,
That's
you
so
saw
wild.
this angle. You saw this angle already twice. I know it's
Yup.
because it's dark. And then
That's
This
wild.
keeps going off. I'm not moving. Keep hearing sounds behind me.
So we're down in the basement.
yeah, so that's
So
pretty
could you
freaky.
tell too when he came back to you guys that he was shook?
Oh,
And yeah,
100%.
Oh
And
yeah.
Trevor never gets scared.
Yeah, you can kind of hear it in his voice where it's like, what is happening?
And then, if I may, I pulled this one up too. So we were kind of talking about cat balls.
Hmm.
I don't put a lot of validity in them going off, but this just happened like 2 months ago, and it's one of those things that just was in halfway point of our video that I think we forget about a lot.
To do an experiment where each one of us goes into a separate room. The hallway camera catches something compelling.
None of us noticed this.
Between us over there, you and I can be on opposite ends and ask questions. I think you have to turn it on once it's on the ground. Put it between us over there. You and I can be on opposite ends.
Whoa.
What's going on right behind
You
us?
and I can be on opposite ends and ask questions.
Like it's hard to tell because it's flashing so hard, but it's
So
literally
right
doing
now
the
we-
circle.
It's doing
Yes.
a
That's
circle.
wild.
And we're all like, I mean, it's one thing if it's bumped or if we're moving a lot and it moves,
It
but
almost
it's
looks
like
like somebody
it's
put their
spinning.
palm on it and
Yeah.
like, just,
Yeah.
like rolled it around.
Like a cat would do. Kind of.
So
Dude, that's
this
weird.
So
this
right
was
now-
post town, and this was my first time going. This was their second time going back, and these guys are absolute assholes. They left me in a room blindfolded for an hour. It was supposed to be 10 minutes,
Did you
but
just lose time?
I was so disoriented from just like not being able to see anything. So fun fact, they
Oh,
actually
no.
blindfolded me before I went up there. So they
Oh, no.
walked me through the whole school and sat me in this classroom blindfolded. So I had no idea where I was, where I
Oh,
was sitting,
man.
what I was looking at, nothing. And we're
I
sitting
won't.
there.
I won't play the whole clip, but just look how cool that looks. Like he's just there by
Oh, that
himself.
does look sweet.
That does look cool.
And he has no idea
So-
that there's a cat toy going
Oh
off.
my god.
No idea.
There's like knocks happening around
There,
him.
there's knocks and there's footsteps. I hear somebody
Dude, there's lots
like
of-
almost. Here, listen to my voice.
But you
I
can
don't know
also
if you can
see
pull that up.
the motion light goes off. Like he's not moving at all,
No.
and he has no idea because he's blindfolded.
There's tapping and movement in the room now.
Oh, you're
Bitch is
terrified.
Yeah, I was terrified, dude. I was. Oh my god. It's almost embarrassing, like watching yourself like go back and like experiencing that moment, but like my whole body was like, "I'm gonna die tonight. This
I
is the night that
literally
I'm going
got
to
plugged
die."
into the outlet and you're like, oh god.
And that's
It
kind of
is-
too when we talk about devices, like one that I did not put a lot of stock in was the spirit box, just because it's going through radio waves and you can make anything that comes through connect to what you're talking about.
Yes.
So,
yes.
so there's four of us, and Caleb and Trevor have names that I would consider pretty ordinary.
Right.
And so if you hear that come through, it's not unusual. But when you hear Armand and Sabian coming
Yeah,
through the
come on
spirit
now.
box, like that's not playing through the radio. Like
No, I don't think any local artists are like either have your name or
yeah.
or are talking about that because I've never came across that either. And like I always say like if people are trying to put that like XM radio like that bullshit in there, like, well, they say more and they swear on there. It is a paid prescription. It is behind a paywall. You aren't going to get that on local radio.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So what do you use? Do you use FM or AM?
AM always.
AM
Yeah,
all day.
same. We use AM as well, especially late at night because there's usually nothing even on the radio.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably our biggest device that we use is the spirit box. We have 2 or 3 of them because we like to do the double SDs. Love a good REM pod. I think that's a hard one to fake.
Ours has never went off.
yeah.
Not
Really?
once. We're
Yeah.
and
Yours
we're
has never
So we
went
have
off?
we have the mel
Never.
meter like double one, so it's like
Mhm.
a REM pod and a mel meter and a temperature.
Yeah.
but it's the
sensor all in
same
one.
thing.
But it's the same thing as the circle one.
Holy cow.
It's
It
never
never
gone
went
off once.
The
I
Other
don't
things
know.
on there have gone off, but
The one cool device, I don't know if you have this pulled up or not, Armand, but was the Gill House. I think this was the first episode or that we had it was the Flux. Have you guys seen the Flux device?
Oh, I know what it is. I've never seen it in use though.
This one is one of the coolest things I think we've ever done because it is not sensitive whatsoever.
Hmm.
So like something has to physically make it go off. At least maybe the setting that we have, maybe we're not
Right.
using it right. But we're in this old house, and Armand and I are in opposite corners of this house. Hopefully he can pull it up because I'm not going to tell it as well. But he's blindfolded, has his noise canceling headphones on, and we're asking questions back and forth. And we haven't got pretty much, I don't think really a whole lot of evidence at
Yeah.
this point in the night. And him and I, we don't really investigate a whole lot together because he's always kind of like making sure everybody's kind of staying on track and stuff like that.
Right.
But this one, we were like, let's go ahead and actually hang out for a little bit for once. And man, that was one of the coolest, I think, moments that we've actually had together as friends in this.
As partners.
Me and Riley
Yes.
are like the insane lunatics though that like if we hear a sound now, it's like fuck that, run at it. Figure out where it came from.
Yeah.
Like and it's like to me, like the best experience is like go into a place with no equipment, quiet, and just take it all in and then get the whole feel of it. And then once you feel it change, you'll know that something's happening.
Yes. Yeah,
Do you see my screen right now? I'm showing a video or no?
Not yet.
no.
I don't.
All right, that's
Yeah.
fine. No, I was actually showing. I was trying to, and I don't know how. It's I just finished editing our Auglaize Village video, but
Oh,
because
nice.
but because it's a file, I can't
There's a way to share files, isn't there?
share it.
Yeah, there is. So if you do like the preset and then share screen, and then it'll give you like the options of your tabs that are open.
Or your window. And
or
you
your
can choose the
and
window.
then you can choose.
I don't want to bore people and waste a lot of time. I'll try it for a minute. If not, it was just there's
we,
nothing
we
worse
will
than watching
always say
somebody-
technical difficulties. Just hang on. Like it's worth it.
It really was just I think our best REM pod activity. So do you see this?
Hmm.
Yep.
Yep. Now we can see it.
Oh, you do.
Except for
Okay,
you're gonna
so-
have to pull one screen away from the other to get the.
It's like
the effect
Inception.
off.
Holy cow.
Hold on, is that any better?
That should do it. Yeah.
So
It's backwards. It's.
Oh yeah, you're
I
showing.
say you got to pull up the video on that window that you have open now.
what are you seeing?
I'm
Oh,
seeing like
You have two
75
monitors
of
by
me.
chance?
I only have one monitor.
Oh, that might be it because it's gonna want to show the window. So we won't see you, but if you pull up that video and just hope it plays, like if you just
Tell
minimize
me-
this and play it, we'll see it. It should how it work. Like it should work like that. At least my big brain don't work every time.
Hey, it's not a big deal if you can't see it. You're not missing much. You can't see it here, like a little small screen or anything.
No, we just see the StreamYard.
All right, I'm not gonna waste anybody's time with this. It was just well, the video comes out in like 2 weeks. I'll show it to you. But yeah, it's hard to get a REM pod, to your point. And I think that is because I think it's one of the most reliable ones as far as it's hard to fake. I mean,
Yeah.
you really have to be close to something. As much as I like the Flux, who knows if anything sets that off? But the REM
Right.
pod, I mean, you gotta touch that antenna.
How do you guys feel
You
about
wanna-
the SLS cameras?
Ooh, good one.
Dude, to be completely honest, we have 2 guys on the team that are extremely smart who have built their own, and it works. Like it picks us up and everything. We haven't caught shit on it. We quit bringing it to hunts.
That's interesting because then you see like all these other channels that do use them and they'll catch something. And then it's like, it
Yeah.
makes me question, like, it's an Xbox Connect camera. Like, is it
Exactly.
really working?
We've caught stuff on it, but then we've actually like we went to a bookstore
Hmm.
and we debunked it because I don't know, it was catching some sort of like form of the chair, but
Yeah.
it looked like a stick figure. But yeah, so it was just it's hard, and on top of that, like you're carrying it around, so you're like looking at a screen as you're like trying to find something through it. So it's like if you want to use it to like kind of set in place, that
Right.
would be kind of cool. But I think to me, it's distracting.
Right. It's a lot to carry around too, to be honest. Like,
You guys have
I
one?
don't. No, our friend's
No.
trying to build one. And he's got to build a mount for it. But like, just looking at what people like carry around, or like the last video that I watched, I think was like Paranormal Quest, where they did it at one of the houses they were at, and it's like that's
Yeah.
a big ass heavy thing to carry around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'd want to carry that around for more than 5 minutes, really.
Not to
Yeah.
dismiss anybody by any means, but
No,
it's
not at all.
and not that we're experts, but it's certainly not one that we find like credible. Like Caleb said, we've used it so many times, even stationary. And when you go back and you watch it, a shelf, or even if it's a corner of a wall, like
Yeah,
if the
it'll
wall's
just light
curved.
up real quick, and it'll be like,
Yeah.
wait. Well, okay, wait, no, I
So-
have to debunk this now.
So we've caught like the stick figures several times with them, but we've never put it in a video because we just don't want to put anything out there that we're not 100% sure.
Yeah, that's
is
how we feel
real.
about it. Like, I'm big on orbs. Like, if something really does look funky, yeah, like I'll say it might be credible. But like, even like our newest video, he saw something that I saw, and I was like, "It's a bug," and he's like, "Look at it again, dumbass. Like, look at it closer." And
And
it's
we
like,
said I slowed it down
well-
for him. He's like, that is really weird.
yeah. But like, like every time I see like an orb photo, I'm like, it's something that might not be anything. Like, it could be dust. I don't know.
I
Like,
think I think orbs are just like one of those things that's like open to interpretation. Like
Yes.
yeah.
like I think an orb is the most like accurate description of what a spirit actually is.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
it's really
I agree with
rare
that.
for a spirit to actually have enough energy to manifest itself. Like we have been fortunate enough to capture it twice on camera, but like how many people actually get that opportunity to do that? Like we've
Well,
probably all seen
the ones
maybe
that
a
really
handful of photos that we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a real
The
apparition.
ones that get me though are the perfect circles and the ones that are red, where it's like it's a floating red ball for no reason. Where it's like, yeah, white, you know, like you've seen that 100 times, but like when you get the discolored ones, then you start going, well, wait a minute, like I don't get that.
We had one at Randolph. I think it's probably our most credible one. We had a guy. So our group is filled with like super smart people that build
Mhm.
everything. It's really really cool. So
Not
one of
us.
our guys, yeah, not us. That's why we're here. We're talking because we can't do
You're
anything
the
else.
face, you're the faces, they're the brains.
Caleb is the most attractive ghost bro.
No, that is just to make me feel better. Nobody else.
We
So
work on a sliding scale.
so but yeah, so one of our guys built a laser grid,
I love that.
and
Hell yeah.
another one of our guys is in the middle of the laser grid. And again, it's Trevor. He is the most skeptic, so he doesn't really believe anything. He will go out of his way to debunk stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I think something just touched my shoulder," or like, "Did somebody just touch me?" And we're in this attic at Randolph again, the 50,000 square foot one, and Armand has a night vision camera on him, and you see something at the moment that he says it, this little orb just like squiggles off the screen, like right away from him, and we're just like, no way. Armand calls it out. He's like, "Oh my god, I just saw an orb," and he's like shaking from it.
And let's be honest. That 9 times out of 10, us everybody, we're investigating really old, dirty places. So in
Yeah.
my opinion, 9 times out of 10, it is dust and light hitting dust, and it's going to look different every time. So to see something flying that's speckled,
Yeah, it doesn't
most
have a
likely
linear
not an
path
orb.
either.
See, what gets me
Exactly.
too is like you spend so much of the night actually looking through your screen too. You get used to what you're seeing, so you're like, okay, I
exactly.
know what dust looks like, and it's like
Yep.
the most credible like orbs have their own
Oh.
flight path. They don't follow what the bugs do. They don't follow what the
I can't believe
dust
that.
does.
That just reminded me. At Old Lincoln, we had the exact same experience. Like we were with the group, and we were in the room where they caught the picture of the shadow figure on Ghost Adventures. And I unexpectedly, for no reason, had a laser grid, like a laser that had, the grid on it. And I looked into the room and shined it in there. And Riley had our night vision camera and he had it shining on me. He didn't tell me until we were done and over with that part of the investigation. He goes, bro, check this out. It looks like an orb like flies out of my chest, like real quick,
Comes up,
180,
looks at me,
and then just
stops,
zips
and
off
then
the page.
zips
Yeah.
off, like,
and then
it's
goes
crazy.
right into the room that I
Might even
turn
be
and
a
look
little-
into right after all of that. And it's like, man, like, come on. That's weird. And it's
Jeez,
like,
yeah,
I
that's-
distinctly remember hearing like what sounded to me like footsteps in the room next to us. And I'd shined that grid in there and I didn't see anything. So I was like, well, whatever. This is like our first investigation. Like, probably just me.
Yeah. We
Dude,
have some like
something-
buried in our archives on our Facebook videos is some like really cool stuff.
It's
that
some
we've
of our like
captured.
oldest, worst like quality of stuff, but it's some of the best shit we've ever caught.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's something that's like something that I appreciate about your guys' show is like just the ability to talk about evidence.
Hmm.
Because like you talk to somebody out on the street who knows nothing about this, you're gonna sound like a quack. And
yeah.
but it's like
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
who's experienced it too is like you can actually go into depth and like it's almost like a open invitation to be like, hey,
It's
you know,
so
this is what we
relieving.
experienced. Yes, yes, yeah. Because I'm literally like, you know, when we were first starting to create content, I didn't share it because I didn't want anybody to
Yeah.
think it's like, what are you doing? I'm
Dude,
like,
I hate social media, and now that like I just hit 1,000 followers on TikTok and we can go live and stuff, I'm like, I'm still afraid to talk to people online, but like, it is such a great platform that I don't know what it is, but it's just like terrifying to me to like put it out there, to where it's like, no,
Yeah.
you just gotta put your neck out there, and it's like,
Yeah.
just like you're saying, it's you can articulate it into the group of people you're looking for, instead of like you walk up to Karen who's like, you're cool. Like, go away. My children will never think that.
I mean, I've pretty much just realized that 9 out of 10 people are gonna think I'm crazy. and
I just
then-
don't give a fuck anymore.
Who
I was
cares? Who
like,
cares at
I'm
this
gonna
point?
be who I want to be, and I don't
Yeah.
care if you're gonna like try to steer the path that I'm on, because it's like I'll take all of the criticisms, all of the compliments, and all of the opinions and stuff, and then use
Okay.
it,
Here
and then make
is-
me better. So,
I finally found it.
oh, you did sick, and it is
Okay.
the worst quality I've ever seen.
It's terrible quality.
I think it's from a one of our phones recording the actual like.
yeah. It's not
flip.
the actual video. It's a phone recording the.
recording the recording.
I don't even think we like.
It's
we
a
didn't even like
recording.
crop it to the right. Like, God, we were
I
bad.
got-
Well, you can see it.
I got it.
Yeah,
I got it. I got it. We're good. We're good.
It's like you see it.
Oh,
Kinda
Oh
like,
wow.
right there.
Yeah.
And then
Whoa.
like I turn like right after that and like look in the room because I'm like, what the fuck was that?
No, that's nutty. No, that's really nutty.
Whoa. Yeah. It just like stops and then comes right back.
Yeah, it does. It's
That's
like
awesome.
we were saying, like it's usually a linear path that you'll see these orbs and stuff on. But like it literally comes at him and then turn. Like it hard
Yeah,
turns.
I literally have never seen anything like that, like filming with the night vision camera and like just nothing like that ever. Oh, we got
Hello.
This is the terrorist paranormal.
That's the tough one. That's the tough one.
You leaving?
That's awesome.
All right, I'll see you at home. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
What,
Love you.
Armand, can you pull up the prospect at the table?
I will. I have something else pulled up. But I will show that.
Absolutely. Go for it. Go for
I
it.
wanted to ask this because we were talking about the spirit box. I've at Prospect, or I'm sorry, at Post Town Elementary. I'll show this really quick.
Is this you
but-
and Elliot?
Yeah, like
Ooh,
this is
when
like.
when you're getting the, I'm getting excited. It's like, oh,
Don't hype it. Don't hype it. All right, are you able to see it, boys? So we just got here. We've been here for 10 minutes. Elliot and I just went to the basement to turn a spirit box on. His name's Elliot. So
Oh boy.
We'll leave this device here and we're going to go back upstairs, and please feel free to use it while we're away.
Are you kidding?
God.
listen to how
Stop.
clear that is.
Hey, Elliot.
Dude?
That's clear as day.
It's got
Wow.
every vowel, syllable, everything.
It's
so
clear.
pronunciated.
So the part, so that
Don't
was just
show me
one
like
part.
that. I was so terrible.
But something that happened, this was in March, and then I think we had it happen again 2 other times since then. And I don't know if we're reading into it. I don't know if there's some scientific explanation, but something that we've noticed through the spirit box lately is it almost sounds like it's mocking us. like we're
Yeah.
saying something, and it almost sounds like it's coming through with our voice. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever had that? I have an
Only on
example.
Definition Fear, I've seen it before, so that's terrifying because
Yeah.
realistically, like what is it? Like, is it a mimic of some sort or like something that we don't know? Like, who's to say too that we aren't encountering some type of other spirits that aren't human?
For sure.
Yeah.
We don't know this. Like, it's not
Yeah.
a fact.
Tell me if you hear this.
Your box, I'm Sabian.
Are you happy
Oh,
that
yeah.
we're here?
Wow.
Wait.
Hi.
Oh,
Can you
There's
please
something-
say one of our names?
It's coming up.
Nickname.
Sorry.
What?
So that's me.
Whoa.
That was your lab.
and like for everybody listening and that's gonna watch this later, spirit boxes aren't always voices. You will get sounds of things. I got a tugboat one time while we were next to a former canal. It's like
Oh.
you
I've
will
heard a
hear-
car-
Yeah,
I was talking to a little girl spirit asking her how she died, and we heard a car horn.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
I
gosh.
believe that she was
Mhm.
showing us the last sound that she heard.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
that's
isn't that terrible?
that's so sad, dude.
But it's like it's that shocking stuff that like really that like it rocks me where it's like whoa.
Do
I
you
didn't
hear
even know
that
this could
laugh?
happen. Yeah, dude, it was like identical tone and everything. Like,
literally
that's weird.
Your laugh coming through the spirit.
That's one's lab. That was your
I just can't.
lab.
I
And
don't even know. what to
everyone
say.
knew it instantly that it was your laugh.
Yo.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like something that was added in or
It
we heard
wasn't
later.
like
Like
it was
they
like
heard
an
it in the
octave lower or an
moment.
octave higher either. It was like spot on.
That's
So in that too is like if you see, so his camera's going in and out like this.
Yeah, it won't focus.
And yeah, so I'm telling him, I'm looking, I'm like, dude, stop that. Like you're distracting right now. He's like, I'm not doing anything. Like it's just doing it by itself. And that's
Yep.
never happened to us before. On top of that, we also had a night vision camera. And correct me if I'm wrong at Post Town, Armand, but we had set it up in the gym.
Yeah, and it totally malfunctioned. I mean, I've
It, like,
never seen anything like
fried.
it. The camera.
It fried.
Our night
Do you
vision
guys
camera
use
was working
IR
perfectly.
lights on your cameras usually?
Yeah.
Or do you, yeah. I was gonna say
Yeah.
because I was gonna say you can tell that it's not like the quality isn't dark because what the IR lights do for all listeners too is it like these cameras are supposed to work in low light, but having that IR light boosting it shouldn't make it like less focused. It should make it better focus. And
Yes.
like yes, it isn't uncommon for dark places to make cameras unfocused, but it is extremely uncommon for, if you ask me, to have it only do it when you're having paranormal activity because energy and I don't know if something's distorting something in front of you and you don't see it. Who's to say the camera's not seeing it? Like
For
Yeah.
sure. Not
So
to-
have you guys go ahead, Armand. Sorry.
No, I hate doing this, not to bombard you with clips just because I had post time pulled up. not to bombard you. That's fun. This is an example of where we leave a camera and a spirit box for hours. I think this was like 6 hours, and then
I'm
I go
so glad
through
that
it.
you guys do that too because it is so much better to just let IR cameras do their thing and have organic things happen because
in the dark. Yeah.
human element adds so much more to it that you
Yeah.
can say this and that and the other thing. But if it's just a room and nothing, explain it.
Yeah.
Explain.
This is in the basement of Post Town. It's like 30 seconds. This is
running in the cafe. This is what we found.
Overwhelming. I'm out here. Tell me what we done. Did his last cat arrive early?
Oh yeah. Whoa.
Lights on. No score. Start to learn.
Oh no! That laugh though, yeah. You know what's even more wild about that? The first like couple of words seem like a back and forth between two people
Conversation.
that are fucking dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've kind of experienced that in a couple locations now. where we didn't pick up on it when we were first kind of getting into like using the spirit box. We were like so overwhelmed that there was so much going on. But as we've done it more, we've kind of realized like, hey, sometimes there could be a conversation going on back and forth, and so we'll try to like pick up on that. Like, hey, what's your name? What's your name? Hey, if there's multiple people talking to us, can one person speak clearly to us right now? And sometimes we'll have people like fighting back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, I want to talk. No, I want to talk.
Or have you had like
kinda-
the double, like where it's like two people at once try to talk over each other?
Yeah, so Trevor's
so
our
weird.
guy who does our Estes method 9 times out of 10. He has the best ears, and you'll hear him literally say, if there's multiple people talking, can only one of you speak to me? Because sometimes he hears the spirit box with multiple voices. It's crazy.
Yep.
We
I always
just
get it
got-
like, overlapped. It sucks.
We just got
Yeah.
done with one location, Woodlawn Estates. It's in I think Maysville,
Oh, yeah.
Kentucky, and I think this is the first time ever where it had so many different previous. I don't know, like what it used to be. It used to be a brothel, a house, I think a nursing home and stuff like that.
Damn, yeah, they
But
ran
we
it back quite a
actually,
few times.
but we got so many different, I guess, almost like conversations through the night. It was confusing because you're like, we have no idea who we're talking to. Nothing matched up. And then finally at the end of the night, we kept hearing the name John.
Yeah.
John this, John that, John. We thought, are we talking to a John? Or are you calling us John? Like whatever it might be. Armand, you want to finish that? Because this was kind of where you pieced it all together.
Yeah, I'm not a smart person, but I guess I know a little bit about sex workers. So this place this place used to be a brothel, and so we were there for maybe 6-7 hours like usual. And all through the night, the spirit box is a woman's voice saying John, 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 John.
And if anybody knows anything,
we thought all night it thought our name was John. We thought for a while we were talking to somebody named John, and then it just clicked that like someone you already know, someone that buys time with a sex worker. It's nicknamed John. And it makes sense because it was asking us price, it was asking us cost. It said like push, gentle, pull out through. So this is over the span of like 7 hours. We were getting these things but not thinking anything of it.
Over time though, like that's where it all comes together. Is like when we the last investigation is we're gonna probably reference this a lot even though nobody's seen it yet. It's like when we edited it and we started listening back to some of the spirit box sessions, because like we do the 10 minutes, it's like, oh my fucking god, we missed so much, and it all goes together.
Yeah, it's the best,
like,
right?
Yeah.
It's like
So,
there's literally
like-
times where something will happen. It's like we'll use the Spirit Talker app, right? And it'll say something, and we're not like so gung ho on it, but like if it lines up with stuff, it's weird. And it was saying things, and we were just like, whatever. And then
You're like, it's
literally
bullshitting
like
us.
20 minutes later, it ends up making so much more sense. And you're just
when
like,
everything gets
wait,
like concluded with
didn't
like
we
the
just
climax.
why
Yes.
is this happening now? And then like weird.
So
Well,
if
it was really go ahead.
No, Caleb, I keep interrupting you, buddy.
No, I was just saying like back at
Shut the
Woodlawn
fuck up.
as well.
Continue.
And we're gone.
So at Woodlawn, we're talking about like we were kind of going in between the brothel and the nursing home. Like there was conversations that were happening both at the same time that it was so confusing up until the end of the night. We were literally leaving. We were so tired. We were done. We were kind of like everything kind of shut off. And then our buddy Elliot stepped in. He's like, "Hey, do you mind if I do an Estes method?" I was like, "I don't care." It's like, where are we gonna go? You know? So he gets on, and that's when everything started piecing itself together. Like the brothel part, and then the nursing home. We actually had. We thought we were talking to somebody who was asking for their husband because they were either like super cold, like about to die or something like that. Can you get this
She was
person?
like,
And I was like,
it was like sick, care, hospital, spouse, husband, all these words coming through this.
and then I asked, I was like, is that your caretaker? Is this it? And as soon as I asked, I was like, yes. I was like, oh my god. Like
and then it said Ian.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
It was really, really cool.
Not to dominate this, again, I feel like that's all I've done. I apologize. I'm talking
Not
to you
even.
guys. The other thing, I don't know if you saw it. This was like the last clip that I pulled because we've done a lot of Estes method. I think one of our best is the one we did with spirit stalkers at the old Williams County Jail.
Yeah.
Or is that okay if I show that?
Of course.
We love the Spirit Stalkers. Those
Yeah,
boys are awesome.
Yeah, we love Jake and Noah. They're
Everybody
just
loves them.
awesome.
They're just genuine.
They're,
They're so nice.
they're just like good dudes. And the fact that they started so early makes me so fucking jealous.
and we've had dinners with them, lunches with them, like when you don't have to be on in front of the camera, and it's the same personality. They're very genuine and kind, like just good guys.
I think we talked to them after our stream with them for like a good hour and a half.
Yeah, and it was definitely the old Midwest goodbye, like
where it's like, wait, one more thing. You guys are great.
I agree. They're awesome. So this was, and obviously you guys know this, but when we do the Estes method, no matter how close or far Trevor is, who usually is listening, he has noise canceling headphones on. We always check, not that he would lie, but the lights on, so he can't hear shit through this. So that always ups it. But
is in the other room with the noise canceling headset on. We're going to be doing the Estes method.
God, I got
so
you.
I want you to talk through the radio waves to Trevor and answer our questions.
Yeah. Hi.
Can you please tell us your name again?
The Sin.
Can you tell us your name or one of our names? Let us know you're listening to us.
I just said my name. Jake.
Can you please, at some point throughout the night,
scream?
Oh!
Wow.
Oh!
No, shit! No one's really. He just said scream. Like he was gonna make a scream.
Touch one of us on the
You know what's
back.
crazy too is like that box.
Oh,
sorry.
Screaming. That box could sound like screaming too. Like just like that pitch it emits, where it's like that makes sense too.
I didn't even think about that. That's totally true.
Can you please
Go.
touch us?
Are you gonna do the double one?
Help.
Why do you need help?
Let's
Guys.
yeah.
The cell. Come.
Can you tell us the number of the cell?
You.
Who?
Sabian.
Oh my god.
Go to a cell.
Sabian,
Which
go to-
cell do you want?
Help. Please.
I would just walk
Upstairs.
through
Upstairs.
walk through them all.
Stairs.
He's gonna walk down the cells.
as he's going to the
Get her.
Oh, get her. Hey, women's cell.
Dude, my heart is racing.
My heart's racing.
I'm shaking.
How long were you in jail?
Many times.
How long
Wow.
were you in the jail?
8. I said take it or Jacob. Jake. It just said Jake right after that.
Dude, that's intelligent. It's saying right now he's telling me that.
Yeah. Look at me.
Oh!
That's cool.
Come on.
Oh, that's so
You.
wild.
Who's going to hurt us?
Noise above us.
Dude,
He wouldn't even know that you were pointing up.
There's no fucking-
He wouldn't even know, even if he could hear, which he can't. He wouldn't know that you were pointing
How
up.
should we get him out?
Out.
The way I was
As he
sitting,
said
my
out,
shirt wasn't
what
touching my back, but right in the middle of my back, my shirt started touching.
There's no
Dude,
there was a noise, and I said, "What is that?"
Oh my
They said, "It's got to be."
And he was
Sabian."
pointing
And
up.
I pointed up, and you said, "Noise above us."
How crazy is that?
Dude, that's insane. That's why I love Estes method so much, because the same thing happened to us. Like I was walking around doing our Estes method, and I had our noise canceling headphones on, and they're Bluetooth, so like I don't have to be like just locked right down. But like they didn't have the blindfold on, but I heard something like say like, you know, like I'm here basically, and I was like looking around because I was like, well, if something's here, I want to see it. And then on the spirit talker, that bitch goes, the devil, and then I go by the power. And I had no idea that they were like slugging off over there doing their thing. And then it's like Riley tried to get my attention, and it took him like at least 4 or 5 like Trevor, and like monkey arming me. And I was like
taking
what's
the
up?
headphones off.
And so it's like it is some
Wow.
incredible things that I think you can come across where it's like, yes, it is not hard to fake it, but at the same time, like if you're really doing it and that's what you're getting and that you're just repeating what you're hearing, it's insane. That's so intelligent.
And I honestly like it so much better because when you're under it, you can't hear what's going on, and you can hear the voices so much more clear than what you can hear them through like the speaker itself or even
Yeah.
through a Bluetooth. Like,
or like
it
when
is
you hear
so
the dip,
crazy.
where you hear the and then it should be the dip, and then you hear the voice.
And
you're
there's
like,
something going through that dip. Yes.
you're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
If I looked at
When-
this in Audacity or whatever like podcasting platform software
That would
anybody
have its
uses,
own
it would
wave.
you'd see the loop.
yeah.
we
they're
had
kinda-
we did. Go ahead.
What we're trying to figure out is with the S box from Ghost Stop, you can actually record
Yeah.
the method
Yeah,
on
put
it.
a-
What
a
we're
chip
trying
in
to
it.
figure out because we've
So
tried it that way before.
Paranormal Quest has like a whole video sharing how they record their spirit box sessions.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna have to look
Yeah,
that up.
so I think it's at one of the hotels that they went to. They show because no, it was when they went to Australia. They had done something and they were on a train and Dave was under and something messed up. So they were showing like, hey, this wasn't us because we've done this so many times and record
Right.
it. But when we went to go back and like play it or whatever, it was all jumbled up and completely erased or something like that.
Yeah, we've had
but they
corrupted
show how they
photos.
do it.
We've had corrupted photos. Like it happens. Like it's not uncommon for things to happen.
Literally,
like
I
that.
had so at Eloise, we took this picture of us standing in front of like the Ghost Hunts USA.
It is like the most haunted,
most haunted
asylum.
locations or whatever. Like pretty much saying that we're in a super haunted place, right? It's a cool little photo op. And
It almost looked like
somehow
somebody tore a film reel and it
I
was still
didn't do
playing.
anything. I only took this photo one time. Somehow a second photo ended up on my phone, completely corrupted, and I might even have it in our drive to show
Yeah,
you.
it is weird.
So fucking weird. 'Cause
Never
I
had it since either.
No idea how this photo even ended up on my phone.
Yeah,
I
like
wanna
it's
see
not
this.
like when we take photos either, like we go and like duplicate them in our phones because we need
Right,
the space
right.
because we do a lot of our recording off our phones.
Same.
So do we.
Same.
Yeah, like just throw it on a gimbal and let it go.
Exactly.
We had a phone at Randolph County, and
Go to the photo. Like
we legitimately, I think at that location we had 7 of us, I believe, something like that were there. And every time we would pass this camera, we would take a look at it and make sure that it was still working or still recording.
Mm.
And at the end of the night, Armand goes to collect it, and there's nothing on it. We checked it multiple times. It was recording every single time, and then he goes back to upload it, and there's nothing on it.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and we have yet to be able to explain it.
Oh shit, that reminds me. One of the first episodes that we ever recorded for the podcast, it was I think it was like 2 or 3 years after my mom passed, and I hadn't talked about it on the podcast yet. And right when I did, one of the weirdest audio malfunctions that we've ever had, it happened, and it like I've never had another problem with it since. And like we used that mix board for 100 episodes, and it never happened again. It was only when I was talking about my mom, and I was like, why?
cow.
Why?
So I found the photo.
Sick.
It's really weird. So this is the original photo. This is the photo that ended up on my phone.
What?
Yeah, we to this day we still don't know how or
wow.
why. I don't even know how you could do that. It's not a filter. It's so weird.
Whoa.
It's only like cutting out the most haunted.
Yeah, and then like the rest of it too almost looks like it had like I don't even know, like somebody ran like a waterboard over it and it got all like just distorted. It's
And this
weird.
was like hard file in my phone.
Yep.
Was like it was taken with my phone.
Yeah, it's so
Holy
weird.
cow.
That
is nuts. Going back to the SS method, we were kind of just having fun with it at Indiana State Sanitarium, and we were like, let's just walk around. So Trevor didn't have his blindfold on. He just had the headphones on, and we're going in and out of these tunnels down there. And Armand and Sabian are up ahead of us. And they're asking questions just to see if this would work. And Trevor and I are probably like, I don't know, maybe 50 yards behind them. And they're asking questions and they're whispering.
Yeah,
like,
so you'd have to scream to hear them at 50 yards anyway.
Yeah. So, and you can hear, like, I'm just sitting there with Trevor, just like recording him, making sure he doesn't run into anything.
Yeah.
And he's answering back and forth. And there's one, we actually started catching up to them because they got to the end of the tunnel. They're about to turn around. And you could hear from my camera them asking the question. And Trevor literally responds directly to it. It was telling us where to go in the building. And it was walking it back, and we were going back to the entrance, and it was like, go to room such and such. I mean, it was telling us directly where to go. It's honestly one of the craziest, like, I don't know, it happened all in like 10, 15 minutes, but the video portion of it's like,
it comes in waves. I always say,
Yeah,
like,
it always says.
you'll get a crash, and then the water will pull back and nothing, and then you'll get another splash.
Yeah.
By the way, I just totally random. I hit your guys' YouTube video or of this. I was just scrolling through the comments. Can we all just give a shout out to Patricia for always being the best?
Yeah, Patricia, we've dubbed her the Saint Pat.
Yeah, I was gonna say every little post that she makes, or like every time, like like I just see her on any of the friends, or like anybody that we've interviewed, or any of the socials. It's like, you are a saint amongst the paranormal community.
Yeah,
Like, you are
she literally
such a
supports
saint.
everybody. It's awesome.
Yeah, she's like the nicest person ever. She's
I mean,
very
she
encouraging.
made my day the other morning, because she was like, "This trailer, I'm so excited about you guys. I'm so proud. You guys have come a long way." And I'm like, "Don't cry at work. Don't cry at work." It's like, man,
That's
dude, that's so
awesome.
touching. It's such a good reward knowing that you can bring this to people and they enjoy it. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's all I want, is for people to just know that they're not alone, and that if you enjoy this, like, please, by all means, like, we're not mean people. Like, we love to talk. Like, obviously, it's been 2 hours and we're still spitting nonsense.
Kind of like going back to like posting, like putting our stuff out there and tying into what you just said. It's like, I don't know how many of us are actually out there, but a lot of us are probably self-conscious about what we're putting out there. Like we're putting ourselves out there to be open to criticism, and nobody likes to be criticized about the stuff that you put out there.
Agreed.
So like when you have somebody like Patricia or some of these other people who just love your content, it's like, man, that's really, really cool, because we made it, Armand and I, just like, we didn't think anybody was gonna do it. Armand's been literally like recording stuff since he was like 5 years old with his dad's video cameras. He was just talking about it. He's like, he destroyed like 7 cameras growing up because he was learning how to film.
It's not hard to see that you guys is like, the quality of your videos is there. It's not like you guys are just making bullshit just to do it. It's like, you guys have passion in it. Like, it's how we feel about it, where it's like, I want it to be cool, and at the end of the day, I want it to be entertaining, but it's genuine, because it's just what we do it for fun.
Yeah, I
that's very nice.
Have you watched any of our like early paranormal investigations? Like,
we were told,
So like, we for some reason we really wanted like this Blair Witch type vibe. For whatever reason, I don't know why we were so obsessed with that, but we wanted it to be like a ghost hunt, but like Blair Witch, like, I don't know. And then we were like, let's do like a vlog style, and it's like, I think what you'll see with like this video that comes out Friday is like,
it feels more like us
turned a page to like the presentation that you're going to get when we do investigations is like way more
colorful,
like,
engaging. It feels like to me, where it's like, there's enough going on to where we kept 45 minutes worth of evidence, but then we cut out, like 2 hours worth of evidence that really didn't stick with us.
Like, we could literally make a part 2.
And that's what we used to do, was 1 and 2. But now it's like, I don't think people are going to want to sit down for an hour and then another hour another day. And it's just like, retention rate is a real thing.
Dude, that's why our longest video, we have one video that's 30 minutes out of like 30 hunts. The rest are between 10 or 15. And that's fine if that's too short for some people. We got, you know what, not to sound cocky, because we have nothing to prove and we're not that great. But I tell you what, to your point, we got a lot of shit from people on Twitter, our peers, our friends, who were telling us that our videos were too short. They didn't know why we were cutting so much out. It wasn't digestible for being too short. And then, not to be an ass, we got monetized months before any of those people did.
Like one of my best friends, and I love him to death, and I don't know if he's gonna watch this or not, but he might, and I'm not gonna say his name because I hope he's gonna say something. But he saw the newest video because I let him see it beforehand, because he is an amazing videographer, and he does all kinds of visuals for all kinds of different dubstep artists that come into our town.
Oh, sweet.
He's like super good at it, and he's about to be signed with a girl that's getting signed to a label, and they're about to go shoot like a bunch of music videos. They just went to Las Vegas to shoot one, so it's like, he knows his shit. He was like, this is really good. Like, you guys are doing way better than you used to. But he goes, maybe half an hour limit. And I was like, what are you doing? I was like, you can't put a cap on stuff that you catch. Like, you can cut it down as much as you want. And like 12 minutes to me that's perfectly fine. Like, I watch you guys' videos and I'm like, I can sit here and binge watch.
Now I can watch another one.
Yeah. And it is great, because it's like, if I'm busy, perfect. That is the perfect content to binge. But like for us, it's like, I just have the hardest time where it's like, man, that was so cool. Like, and I could do so many cool things.
Too, like, you look at all of our content that we've ever released, everything is around that 40-minute mark. So like, I feel like if now we were to release like a 15-minute paranormal investigation,
people would be like, what are you doing?
People aren't well,
100%.
to prove that point, I've released 2 shorter videos that were paranormal investigations, and they haven't done great. Not saying that, you know, they
It's
aren't
also
good
algorithm
videos, but
too. Algorithm does a lot
Sure.
more with it.
Well, it's also, I mean, you are making 40-minute videos that actually hold people's attention. So that's what's rare is there's, not to be an ass, there's a lot of 40-minute and hour-long videos that you're just tuning out of because it doesn't hold your interest. You two have the personalities to hold the interest. That's why I've actually watched your stuff compared to so many other people.
Armand and I go back and forth all the time because I'm like, dude, you got to make them longer. And he's like, no, dude, it's okay. It's like, this is our style. It's shorter. Like, I think
that's how it's known too. Like if somebody's looking for shorter ended content, what better way to find it than
the Ghost Bros?
Exactly.
Well, that's very nice. Jake from Spirit Stalker said the best thing. If you have a 15-minute video and someone's watched already 5-6 minutes of it and they're maybe thinking about turning it off,
exactly,
they're more than likely just going to finish it if there's only 8 minutes left versus 40 minutes left.
Our retention rates for the first half of our YouTube careers were like 6 minutes. And we were like, it's not bad, but like out of a half an hour, 2-hour long video.
For the longest time, we were trying to figure out, because a lot of our videos on YouTube are just audio.
It's just stagnant stuff too, where it's
nothing
like moving.
Is it us not being entertaining, or is it just like people coming back to it later? And what we have realized with
we weren't using the formula.
The podcast statistics is you need sometimes to like put out something of the video in a shorter form so that people will go back and watch that episode.
Yeah,
find
100%.
that little clip.
It always
100%.
boggles my mind that some of the most played podcast episodes of ours are always the first ones, where it's like it's the worst quality ones by far, but it's the people that are probably looking for something specifically, and that always makes me feel good because it's like something stuck, and that's all I want at the end of the day. Is something.
The one thing that I will always brag about for us is if you were to search Detlof's Pass in Spotify, we are the first podcast to show up.
Badass.
We're above on Spotify. Last podcast on the left, the biggest
dude
one out there, and I was like, I'm
That's
shitting bricks
awesome.
right now. Like that's fucking crazy. Like I put so much time and effort in doing that.
Dude, that's awesome.
Head of like a subject playlist, and it's just like the coolest thing ever. And we've held that spot for like 2.5 years now.
That's awesome, dude. That's really, really awesome.
And it's like it's not like trying to brag by any means, but it's just like
Dude,
those
there's
little accomplishments are just so awesome.
There's such a difference, and not to go down this rabbit hole of being proud of your accomplishments, something like that is an achievement, or little things that we say, and just being an absolute cocky douchebag. That is the worst thing. And as much as I love this field and so many wonderful people like you and Jake and Noah that we've met, for every 4 good people, there's like 10 douchebags. I'm not trying to start shit, but like you can just you can just scroll through Twitter and see how highly
there's
people think of
assholes in
themselves.
every walk of life, and there's no reason why they're not in the paranormal field.
This is
Well
this
said.
is very, very true. So I think our advice really that we try to tell everybody is because like we really don't think like we're that great. I mean, we enjoy our content, but we don't take ourselves like super seriously or anything.
No,
like
neither
that.
do we.
But it's like something that we always feel like, oh, like when you guys are like, oh, we can't believe you didn't, like, you guys want to come on to our show and talk to us. We're like, no, we're like honored that you guys want to talk to us.
We literally, when we first got like wind that you guys wanted to be on the show, I was like, their fucking followers are so much bigger than ours. I'm so excited. They seem so cool.
We're just like, just be yourself. You guys are awesome.
Group to actually like reach out to us to get scheduled on.
Yeah, that was the wild part for me, where it's like we didn't have to do anything.
Well, you made it easy. I speaking of time, holy shit, I can't believe we've talked for 2 hours.
Dude,
and
we always
15
do
minutes.
this with every guest that we have. It's like I can sit here talk another 20 hours and easily have way more. We didn't even talk about conspiracies, ghosts, or any cryptids or anything.
Oh my god!
So it's like there's gonna be another one of these. I would love to do it soon.
Yeah,
this
we'll
is
have
amazing.
we'll have to return the favor and come on Ghost Toast for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I wouldn't even mind like taking like a weekend trip down there, just hang out on the patio, smoke some cigars, and just talk.
My
Like,
boy.
We could do the Ghost Toast.
Wait, I missed at the beginning because I joined a minute late. Where are you guys at?
Michigan.
Yep.
It's not
Oh,
terribly
you're not far.
Like,
No,
yeah, we're
no,
like
no.
halfway up in the mitten. So like we always do like the thumb. We're like right here.
Dude, that's
So it's like it's not bad. Like we have a 3-hour, what was it, 4-hour drive to Ohio when we went to Lincoln. No, it was like 6. I'm lying to you. But it's like that was what, in the middle of Ohio too?
Lincoln County is like way over there, like
Yeah.
by Columbus, I believe, right?
How close are you guys to Madison Seminary?
You got it. Look it up. Because
This
I
is a
don't.
long shot. I don't know, but
I know
we.
it's a straight shot for us to go down to Ohio too, for sure. So it's not hard for us to get down there.
No. Madison Seminary is
It's
really
not?
north. It's really
Oh,
it's
is
in
it?
Ohio, but it's really north.
It's
The only reason I asked
it's
was
past Cleveland.
I need
Oh,
to
so
check. I
probably
don't want
closer to
to.
us than anything.
It's certainly not an overpromise. I need to
6
check with
hours.
So yeah, about 6 hours.
Oh wait, that's way okay. I was
It
gonna
still
say
isn't that far for us. Like considering how it's like we're at the point in
See,
our
the longest part for Michigan is that we're like basically locked in our own state, you know, because everyone's under.
you got two
us.
interstates.
So
So
it
one
takes
goes
us
south, north,
literally
one goes
2
east or
hours
west.
to even leave the state.
Yeah.
And then depending on where we're going in Michigan, if we're going straight down, it's
Yeah.
not as far. But if we have to go across like by Detroit and Toledo, like that's all
we
the way
were
across the entire state.
we were gonna be there in a couple weeks for a hunt. So I was gonna say if you were close, we could do like an in-person ghost toast or go to lunch or something for whatever
Oh,
reason.
that would be sick.
I
That would be
thought Michigan would have been closer to Madison Seminary.
I mean,
But
if we were on the other side of the state.
yeah,
we're
that's
like
true.
we're going south Saturday, but you guys are also doing an investigation, so it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think we could make it work, but it would be cool too.
No, we're gonna make this work. Ohio, Michigan is not impossible.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
So
saying. It's not an
Yeah, it's not
impassable
impossible.
thing. Like Creepy Confidential, like Noelle, we're gonna also meet up with her at some point too.
Oh,
and
cool.
She's in Ohio now too, so it's like we have reasons to go south of us
Yeah.
for sure. And
I think that's been the coolest part of like having
Mm.
people come on to our show, because we say it time and time again, for literally 3 years it was just us and then our friends coming on every once
now
in
we
a
have a
while.
huge fucking circle to literally be
now
like,
we
dude,
have
you guys
like
are
an
friends
actual
now.
like network of people that we
Yeah.
literally sat and talked to for
Mhm.
hours and haven't met in person, and like we got to make it happen.
Well,
I'm
it's like,
adding
if we
it-
gel this good over like just
Yeah.
the camera. Like I can only imagine how fun it'll be just to like sit down and be like, boys. Like,
100%.
Oh, it's probably gonna be even more wild.
Yeah, exactly.
So at least for the time being, I just made a note in my calendar to connect with you guys. If you guys are
Hell
okay
yeah.
with that, let's do at least. I mean, hopefully by the end of the year we see each other in person. But if you guys will, we'd love to have you on Ghost Toast in August. July's booked, but let's like have you guys come on in August.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
figure out a date for sure.
Yeah, I know
Oh.
August 18th or that weekend, whatever the 18th is, we have a bachelor party we're going to, so we'll be out of town. But other than that, I think August is pretty set. And like every Wednesday we do these, but other than that, like realistically, we can probably make something work for sure.
Oh, we'd work
Yeah,
around
yeah.
you guys. That's not a
Yeah.
big deal at all.
Any
It's just
like we're open to any day pretty
Yeah,
much.
we work till
during the
5
week.
p.m. usually. And then it's like, all right, what are we
Us
doing
too.
now?
well, you guys were so nice to like ask us 100 questions. We feel like we dominated the conversation. Now I have so many questions for you guys, so I'd love to have you on. I want to know how you guys started, how you met, and all that stuff. So we'd love to have you on. We'd love to have you on.
Finish.
Those are so many
yeah,
stories.
that's
There's
with,
so many good
It's definitely a
stories,
whole
too.
nother 2 hours.
We can literally like tell you our life story for the past 10 years because it's been a fucking roller coaster. Wild.
Like
I'd be okay with that.
for over a decade, so we have tons of
So we're down in the
stories.
basement.
Yeah, between semi-pro hockey, ghost hunting, and just like literally like everything in between, having kids and just living in the small town 10 minutes away from each other. It's like we've done it all.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
Caleb and I have been friends since like 7th grade, 8th grade. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Actually, sophomore year, so
Sorry.
it's all good. Hey, what's up?
But
came out
yeah,
of nowhere.
Birdcat said it. I'm in this today. But
Caleb,
That's
are you
awesome.
wanting me to end with Prospect Place?
Oh, you gotta end with that, man. That is the craziest
All right.
evidence that we've ever gotten.
Yeah, I apologize. I am so tired. I was literally in a different country this morning.
oh Jesus.
Oh wow.
I was in Canada for work and flew home like 3 hours ago.
You were a trooper, and I appreciate you giving us your time.
No, I loved it. Perfect way to end the night. So I will say, because we always want to be honest, the noises you hear are obviously all real, but we had 4 cameras around the room, so like I added all the audio together and turned it up way loud, so
Yeah,
it was
boosted
not
it.
so I just always like to be honest. We
tell people when we do it too, where it's like, hey, if it's quiet to us, it's gonna be quiet to you. So
yeah, so it's much louder in the video than it was in
I think you
person.
feel comfortable communicating to us.
We don't mean you any harm. We're here and we just want to hear more about your story.
What was that? What was that? What?
Was that a woman's
I heard a woman's voice.
dude,
It
it's
literally
singing.
sounded like a sneeze.
You guys, did it sound like?
It almost sounds
If
melodic
you
too.
tried to vocalize something, can you please do it again?
What
It's like coming from behind the camera.
100%.
That's
If you
weird.
want us to leave, this is going on.
Do you want us to go to the basement?
Please? Are you a woman?
Did you hear that?
The weird knocking rhythmic.
I hear faint.
It's like
wait.
way loud.
I was gonna say that wasn't any equipment though, was it?
No,
That was just an audible sound.
but
Yes.
this is what's weird
Whoa.
about it. It's one of all 3 cameras, one picked it up that was facing the hallway. So that's why it sounds weird, and it's obviously all the way up. But it literally sounds, to be 100%, and I do not want to throw this place under the bus because we can't prove it. We legit thought there was like a speaker or something in this place because the sound is. We
Was
thought
there
somebody
any
was messing
pictures
with us.
that weren't in that room, but in other rooms that could have been dragged across the floor? Because to me, it almost sounded like like
The
wood
chair
on wood
moving.
squeak, where it's like,
To me, it sounded like someone blowing through like a metal pipe.
or like a vuvuzela.
Yeah,
Just-
like, it sounded like
Just
that.
wait. Just wait.
So then everything starts going off together.
If you're not able to vocalize, can you make a knock on the wall or footsteps?
Like that doesn't sound real, but like we all heard it.
Did you not hear
It
that?
didn't sound. It sounded fake as fuck. What?
It sounds so fucking fake. Like that sounds like someone was fucking with us.
It was right behind you. I swear to God, it was over there.
Yeah, I heard
But
it
we're all
over there.
hearing it. Like it doesn't sound real.
I'm done. You hear this thing keep going.
Yeah.
Are you a kid?
I'm done. That was the final straw.
Like we literally thought there was like a speaker somewhere because it never sounded like
you
it was
would've
in the
fooled me.
room with us. It never sounded like it was in the room with us. It sounded so you can see behind Elliot and then behind the camera, there's hallways in every direction and there's cameras in every hallway. So I've synced up all the audio and that's where it's coming from. But it doesn't sound right. And when I was putting it together, I was sending them like texting them the clips. It's just like it sounds too
It doesn't sound
mechanical.
organic. Yeah, it sounds
No.
literally fake. But it's like if that isn't a speaker, holy shit, is that clear?
And we're all
That-
hearing it.
Is I mean, you could see it on my face. So I'm the one with the white hat, and then Elliot. We literally look at each other like, there's no way we just heard it. That moment right there is what made me believe in the paranormal.
Wow.
100%. I was like,
Wow.
there was no turning back after that because
I-
we're literally the only people there on the property. There's nothing around. This was an underground railroad station where people would come and literally like hide out. So it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and the thing for me that either, and I can't tell if it either confirms that we actually heard what we heard, or if it proves that the place is rigged and it's bullshit. But we actually, it was filmed maybe like 4 years ago, but I think me and Trevor were watching Paranormal Quest,
Yeah.
and they went to Prospect Place and they caught a girl laughing.
Damn. It also like you can't say that it's not a little suspect too that every device went off at the exact same time.
You saw
It's
that,
like-
like they were
Where
all.
it's like that is really weird, but at the same time too, it is possible to fake electrical spikes with like I guess you could say like a burst of energy with
Sure.
like, those kinetic balls. But realistically, you guys weren't using anything that would have done that. And I don't think that was there like any like supervisors that were overseeing anything. No, so like how would they have known to flip a switch at that exact moment to do that?
Yeah.
That's where it draws a lot of validity for me. And then especially since it's like Paranormal Quest caught a laugh, like a girl laugh too, not just like a laugh. Like you guys caught a crystal clear woman's like tone and everything. Like, what?
And whether it's real or not, we definitely all heard something collectively. We just don't know, like, if somebody was fucking with us.
Yeah, dude. That's me and him will look at you and be like, "Don't fuck with me right
So
now."
there's literally a moment in our upcoming video where the spirit box says something, but I heard something different.
And before that, I
So
heard something.
I don't know
too.
if it was my interpretation of what I heard or if I actually did hear that. But when you play back the audio, you can clearly hear what it's saying, and it's just like one of those things. It's like, what am I actually hearing compared to like what is actually
Matrixing
created?
is a real thing.
I
as
believe
bad as
that.
it is.
If you guys get to go to the Auglaize Village, just talking about vocalizations and stuff, I was doing B-roll and just getting some pictures and stuff of some of the locations. And one of the cabins was built in like early 1800s. And I'm in there. Armand is walking around, I think with the spirit stalkers. And Trevor and Sabian are doing drone shots, just kind of flying it around. And I'm like, like I said, taking pictures and whatnot, and I hear conversations, and it sounds like Armand and Trevor and Sabian talking to each other, but I know they're not together. So I'm like, oh, this is really weird. So I like kind of go upstairs, continue to take pictures, and the conversation gets louder. I go outside, there's nobody around. And so I call like Armand, and nobody's there. I pass Trevor. I was like, hey, were you guys just like over by the cabin? Like, no, we've been like they're across the village. And I'm like, holy cow, like I'm literally just here. I just heard like somebody talking.
Oh,
and it's like I know for certain it was their voices. Like it wasn't anybody else, it was their voices.
Yeah, like you know them the best. Like you're friends with them. You spend time with them. It's not like you're gonna hear a voice and immediately be like, well, I don't know who that is. Like, no, if you know the voice, you know who it is. Like you're gonna be like, bro.
I hate saying that out loud because it makes me sound crazy. You know what I mean? Like I'm hearing things, but yeah, so it's just like hearing those things out loud. It's like it really makes you question like your sanity.
Yep. I love that.
Boys, are we gonna hang out or what?
Of course we're gonna hang out.
We're gonna hang out. It's gonna happen.
You got the two worst Ghost Bros. The other two are even better. So
this is true. You guys got the short end of the stick.
I'll say if this is just a little taste test, like I'm fully committed.
little appetizer. No, please. This was seriously honestly the best interview we've ever done. You guys are honest to God so much fun. It was really nice to finally like meet you after watching your videos for so long. And
hell yeah, likewise.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't wait to have you on the Ghost Toast so the other guys can talk to you. Trevor wanted to come too, but we told him like 5 people may be overwhelming. So he'll definitely be on the Ghost Toast. So you guys better show up.
Oh, of course, I won't miss that shit. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I'll even grab a bottle of tequila and just hang out. Like that'll be fine.
Hell yeah. Do it. Take it. Sometimes I take a gummy before interviews. So
I mean, we literally just buy our dab pens and we just rip them. Like,
you gotta do it. You gotta do it. No, is there anything we need to do for you on here? Is there anything?
No. I mean, other than where can they find you guys?
Yet, I put all of your guys' tags and links down there. So
yeah, if you guys want to like say like anything's coming up, anything like that.
I think shout out you had a video coming up soon, right?
We have this week. Tomorrow we did a Ghost Toast with Ghost. They're 2 girls from the West Coast. And then next week, we had an off week a few weeks ago, and the guys just came over to my basement, and we ordered some DoorDash and smoked, and we watched some 2010 Disney movie called Girl vs. Monster. So
dude, it's fucking wild. I've seen that movie.
so we got a little tipsy and did a movie review. So that's
it's called the Bro View.
Yeah,
see, I've been telling Riley we need to like branch out to like Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering because like I'm huge. Yeah, it's like, bro, Let's Plays are definitely popping. So
absolutely,
yeah.
And
I can't wait. You can find all of us at Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Ghost Bros 513. They're all the same, and I mean you can't miss the little green guy. So if that's us,
iconic.
It's them.
And we can't wait to watch your Indian Burial Ground video, dude. I have my notification on. I'm pumped.
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time. You're gonna want to be in the premiere. It's gonna be.
And we literally have to pack after we're done with the Q&A right after that, so we can do our next big thing. It's like,
yeah, and we'll announce that after the premiere. We're gonna go live and have a Q&A and explain some history that we didn't explain in the video because we found out after.
Yep.
So
wow,
it'll be really interesting because it's gonna get even weirder once we do the Q&A about what you just watched.
Badass.
And even the little nuggets that we were throwing in there, like the little snippets, are like some of the stuff that was in the trailer, but like some of it also wasn't. And it's like when you see how it all plays together, holy fuck.
The trailer only has the minimum of evidence.
Yeah, we're on that bandwagon where it's like, don't show off everything you have right away. Like,
oh sure, most definitely.
Wait.
Yeah,
most definitely.
It's fantastic.
Dude, that's sick. I can't wait. I'll be there Friday. I'll ask some questions.
You guys are seriously the fucking bomb. I love you guys.
Yeah,
you're way too nice.
Thank you.
With that being said, remember, folks, keep your ears and eyes open for Really Goes
Bump in the Night.
Ooh, that was good. I like that.